Woo.
Yeah. Having a good old time.
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again. 181. There's that street noise we were talking about that didn't happen
that
until
motorcycle.
as soon as we went live, but that's all right.
I know it didn't happen the whole time when I was like right beforehand.
He
right
warned us of it, and we didn't hear shit. And we're like, nah,
I did.
It's gonna be good.
Well, like I said, I can always creep into the wine cellar and lock myself in there, so that works too.
This is like, I like that background though. That's a sick background.
It is.
Yeah, right. The bush.
Yeah, totally, dude. And if it gets crazy, then yeah, maybe the wine cellar might be the thing. But it's all good right now.
Yeah. It's fine.
This is my office, actually.
That's awesome.
Perfect, dude.
That's the table out back of the restaurant. So
where the chilling and the thinking happens, dude. I am Anthony Trapani. You hear of me every week if you watch this show. I'm your host. I got a resident homie with me tonight, Joel Horner. What up, dude?
What up?
And tonight's a special one, dude. Me and Joel have actually been waiting for this episode for quite some time. Yep. We've been waiting for it for quite some time, dude. And actually, I should have looked the first time. I'm pretty sure I have the first time I hit you up, Chris. You're a busy man, and I knew we were eventually gonna make this happen, and we finally did, dude. So I'm super stoked on this. But yeah. We've done 181 or 180 episodes of this show, and you know, a lot of these guys all either did or are playing death metal, and everybody's got their unique story. But this story that we're going to hear tonight has always been intriguing to me because of the transition that this man has made from playing the style of music that we love and cherish and talk about constantly on this show. But he channeled that artistry into, dude, that wine cellar is going to be sick, dude. We should get you in that wine cellar, dude.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's see that wine collection, bro.
That's awesome. So you're at your restaurant right now. You're at Locali's right now?
Yeah, I literally we finished the first counter, and then I just was like, "Are you guys good?" And they're like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna walk out back and do this podcast." I've been excited about it. So they're an incredible team, so I don't really have to worry about too much of anything with them. So let me get inside here.
Yeah, dude. But
yeah, 21st Street can be a motherfucker.
It's all good, dude. You're downtown Sacramento, basically, right?
Yeah, on the corner of 21st and S. So Midtown, I guess, is our proper designation. I've been here for 9 years now. Kind of crazy.
I know, dude. Awesome, and we've been friends long enough to kind of watch it all unfold for you on social media, and you know.
There's never someone in the wine cellar. Now there's someone in the wine cellar. It's my general manager.
Don't mind me.
Hello.
What up,
This
GM?
is like.
Oh, is there going to be no service down there?
Oh, shit. All right. Well, you know, it's been a while since we've had some technical situations happen right away, but he'll figure it out. Maybe he'll find a different place. Dude, we get a new.
That's a good freeze.
Add him to the Alan Cassidy list.
All right.
There you are. Okay.
There he is. All right.
Cool. Wine cellar.
Awesome. Yeah. It's sick, man. That's awesome.
But yeah, dude, my whole intro that I was trying to get through was basically you're an artist, and you've had. I know, as being an artist, there's definitely different avenues you can take and use. It's the same energy that you would use no matter what you do, and to channel the creativity and all that stuff into culinary art. I always found that intriguing about you, and being a voyeur in your life and watching you on social media. I just always wanted to talk to you on the show, dude. I thought that you would be a great addition and a unique story because, you know, like I said, we've done 180 of these and we found similarities in so many different connections that people have together, but there's a few uniques along the way, and I always thought that you'd be one. But yeah, dude, we got Chris Barnum from Dismal Lapse, Flesh Consumed, and actually Shrine of Scars, which is a funny little connection. Even though I was looking at it, you were you ever on any of the releases though?
Nope, never did. Yeah, it was my first band. I mean, I graduated high school and played a show at the house that we lived at. And that was like the first time that I'd ever been on stage or whatever. So it was a pretty cool experience to be allowed to do that as a 17-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah. And it tripped me out because I saw the cover of one of the albums and I was like, Troy put that out on Disfigured, dude. It was a Disfigured he had his little distro / record label for a little bit, put out Force to Bleed, put out a few other records, and Shrine of Scars was one of them. And I remember going over to Troy's house and just flipping through his little boxes of CDs that he had in the corner of a room in the living room, just like going through a mini distro and seeing that and didn't even know the connection of you and the band until later on now because you were never on any of the releases or whatever. But yeah, dude. Dismal Lapse has always been a band that I kind of held in the upper echelon of the Cali death scene, even from back when we were in the doing Odia shit back in 05, 06, 07. That's when we would have came across the Dismal Lapse stuff. I'm trying to remember when we first ever met up in person during that time. What shows did you go to the Pound a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I was voracious when it came to watching death metal. I think it's the same in being a chef. I'd way rather be an eater than a chef. I'd way rather be a watcher than a player. Like I mean, I loved playing death metal. Obviously, there's, you know, a lot of things I love about it, but I always loved just going to shows. I was at shows all the time. Like, didn't even really matter the genre either. I just like seeing live music. So I don't know when the first time was. We were Bled for the first 3 years. I think we put out and then the Bled fucking literally sent us a cease and desist. So as like an 18-year-old with like no money, and this like record label sends you a thing saying change your name, and I was like, we've had this name for 6 years, like this band just came out, and you know, no one gives a shit, so we had to change our name. But for the first while there, it was Bled.
I have a feeling it was Bled that I came across first, dude, because there was quite some time that you played under that moniker that I was definitely active in going to plenty of shows, and there had to have been a time where I saw Bled as an opener on a show somewhere in NorCal.
Yeah, for sure. We got to play a lot of cool shows with a lot of cool bands. I was the guitarist vocalist. So I didn't start playing drums until we couldn't find a drummer anymore. So I switched, but yeah, I was never a great guitarist. It was really funny. I tell that story all the time to people. Like, I practiced every day since I was like 7 years old, went to lessons, worked so hard at it, and was never fucking awesome. It just was like one of those annoying things. And then I sat down on a drum kit, and it was like I should have been fucking spending all my time doing this. Like, never a great drummer either, but good enough to like play in a band, know my songs well enough to play them, you know, like decently on stage. And yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. I miss it. I don't miss it enough to try it again, but I definitely miss, you know, some of that fun.
What kind of music was playing around the house while you were deciding to play guitar? Like, what did your parents listen to?
My parents listened to literally every genre you could think of. I'm talking like normal Americana stuff. We listened to lots of R&B, funk, disco, classic rock, folk writer, you know, folk song kind of stuff. Like, they listened to everything. So I just kind of grew up with like a ton of good music in the house, and my house was always musical. Every
Nice.
day that we were not at work or school, they were bumping music super loud. If the weather was good, doors are open. It just was a house of like music. My mom was a guitarist, like a chord progression guitarist with a great voice. So I grew up with her, and then her sisters each represent a different tonal kind of quality. And they used to sing when they got together. And so my whole life, just like music was involved always, like from the very beginning.
Rad.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's kind of like a different style of asking your initial question, Anthony, of doing like the what got you started kind of thing, right? Because
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah. I mean, this
life.
is
Yeah.
still starting at the because he was already talking about getting into playing guitar, so I just was working off that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, one thing we'll get into before actually, just because we've been talking about having you on forever, and I think. I think I remember either Decrepit or Odious or both went to your house, and you like, it's funny, you cooked us something that was like amazing or something. You're like a snack or something like, and we were just all taking a look at your house, and that underground layer you had were like it's like a concert venue kind of you had down there, and
Yeah.
I think I don't know if that's the first time I met you, but I remember just going there and just being blown away by everything you were doing and stuff, and being like, what the fuck, this is not just like a snack that you go to a person's house and they give you like some food, and you're just like, oh yeah, thanks for the pizza rolls. You know, it's like you gave us like some like actual amazingly cooked stuff, and I was like, oh cool. And you're like, yeah, I like to cook a lot and blah blah. And then to see that, you know, your ascension to basically, I mean, California cooking fame, like I mean, and probably worldwide as well, has been like absolutely amazing. And then I took my fiance to go. We went to your restaurant, I want to say last summer. I think it was last summer, and it was like a total thing. I got the engagement ring ready, and it didn't show up until while we were at the restaurant. I got the notification that it was at my doorstep, but I was gonna do that whole thing there too, because I was like, dude,
that was your original plan, was to.
That was the plan, dude, and it didn't show up until when we were in Sacramento. It showed up, and I was like, God damn it! But it was still like, Jesus, man, talk about like it's still like a story I'll tell to everyone as far as your restaurant. It's the most like, and I was actually just talking to my fiance just now about like how I had to like Google how to do like legit fine dining before I went there, and I still fucked it up. I went there and I was
no, come on, dude, you never fucked it up. You know how this restaurant
you didn't
operates,
know,
dude.
Your initial the waiter that came up to me, he was like or host, I don't know, host that came up to me was like, here's the menus, and I was like, I'll take a number 12. And I didn't know there was like 12 fucking things that we're gonna eat all 12, and it was all matched with a drink and paired with a drink on each side, or for each meal. And I was like, I'll take a number 12 and a number 6. And the guy, he looked at me just like, all right, well, we're getting started.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
and I had Googled this before, and I still was like, I was asking Osa, I'm like, okay, so what do we do? What's going on? Are they showing us the menu, or are we ordering? And the guy, he comes back, and I'm like, I'll get a number 6 and a number 13. And he just looked at me just like, like kind of like, all right, haha, funny joke. We're gonna get started soon. So, and I was like, so that's, I even like watched. We Googled you and watched a bunch of your like videos and watched a bunch of things before we went, just to like kind of understand the restaurant, because I didn't know like you were the way when you got me in, because remember you were kind of booked already, and you got us in, and I was kind of like, all right, this is like a big deal, I feel like, so we have to like make sure we know what the fuck we're talking about, what we're doing and stuff. And but I still tell that story of like the assortment of food from different parts of the world, and I'm sure you change that constantly. Like that's got to be something. And I see you traveling and learning about new food and new dishes and stuff constantly. But so I mean, there's not a question in there. I'm just basically saying that was fucking insane. That was like one of the most insane mouth voyages I've ever gone on. Like just tasting these things that I don't think would work together, and be like, oh shit, like that works amazingly. Like a quail egg and some other stuff around it, and like I'm just like, okay, I've never tried this before, and just being completely blown away. It's kind of like you know how like sushi is kind of like one bite of a bunch of flavors. It's kind of like what I feel like what your restaurant kind of brings is like a different style from every part of the world, where a bite will kind of do what sushi does, but in a different style, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think you know, it's funny the perspective of you looking into my restaurant, being like, how do I do this? Like, I'm nervous I'm gonna fuck it up. And then at lineup that day, I'm just like, yo, so this guy's coming in, like, he's an amazing musician. He's played with these bands. We listened to some of your, songs you've been on and stuff. And everyone's just like pumped, and I'm telling the story about you guys. And like, even back then, I was like, the podcast had been doing really well. And I was like, they got this awesome podcast. So they're all thinking, like, when you walk in, they're like, oh shit, like this guy's,
Really?
he's fucking, yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. Like, you always have to remember that perspective, like the number one thing I promote in life now is just like perspective. Like, always think about the opposing side, like.
No,
the
definitely.
commonality you guys have is art too. That's the thing. You guys looking at each other as artists, just from a different, like you were saying, perspective, a different place, but you understand each other on a certain level. Like, if Chef thinks highly of dude and it's because of his art, I want to show that artist my art, so I'm gonna present it through his dining experience that night.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, just showing, like, as far as like Chris like wanted to get into playing death metal, he did it at a high level and goes like, I want to do Chef stuff. And just, it seems like you have a mentality that's pretty interesting of just like, when you're in something, and I see how you are with your restaurant and stuff, you are 115, 20% in. Like, you are doing everything to the nth degree, and I was like absolutely blown away by your restaurant, and some of the craziest food in the best way possible. It's not a negative thing. Craziest food I've ever had. Like, my mouth was like, what the fuck? How do I even like comprehend? It's kind of like hearing a crazy album for the first time, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, like, what is this? This is insane. And
that's why you listen to the album again and again, and you get used to it. It's the same in like dining, when you start going to these restaurants and you start expecting a certain thing. Like, for me, it's like what I spend my money on. Like, I don't wear nice clothes. I still don't have like anything crazy like wearing, or I don't give a shit about my house or the car or whatever. I just want to travel more, eat more, drink more. And only the best of the best. I mean, I'm bougie as fuck nowadays. Like, literally, I'm in my literal $1 million wine cellar, drinking very expensive champagne out of a paper cup. Like, I think that's been my whole life. Like, things that are important are really important, and things that aren't, I just like, just gone. Just get rid of them.
Focused.
So,
yeah,
for sure. Definitely. Which is, to a detriment when you have like, family and kids and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot to balance being a chef.
You bring them on trips with you, right? I see you guys all traveling together and trying stuff together, right? It's a big family.
Yeah, a lot. The boys are cut off. They didn't get to go to a couple of trips because they're 9 and 10. Waston. I just combined the two, Weston and Walker. They don't try all the food. Like, as a Michelin-starred chef, that's a dad to like a 9 and a 10-year-old boys, and you make them anything, and they're like, nah, I'm good on this. You're just like, are you fucking serious, man? Like, people flew in from Denver tonight to like come have dinner at this restaurant, and you want to shit talk my food. It's a good humbling thing. You're just constantly humbled by those little fuckers.
Like,
but yeah, it's literally, so I tell parents all the time, I'm like, listen, if you're, bummed out because the kids don't like your food, like, think about how I feel, like, holy crap. But it's,
I mean, it's kind of like my oldest. No matter how much I play my music or death metal, he's like, I don't like this. Turn it off. It's always too loud. Turn it off. Let's listen to some rap. And I'll listen to some rap with him. But even then, I'll like try and put on my rap, and he's still kind of like side eyes.
He's like, no,
it's got to be like, fourth generation Eminem stuff if he's down.
Yeah. And see, I told my kids they're cut off, the boys. I'm like, you can't go on trips with us. So we took them to Peru. I mean, how many 9 and 10-year-olds get to go to Peru, and see Machu Picchu and do all this stuff, so
crazy.
You have to be so grateful for something like that. And those little dudes literally didn't want to try any of the food, just complain the whole time. Why can't we get, like cheeseburgers and this and that? And so we got back, and it's like, I told them, I'm so honest with my kids. I was like, it cost me like $10,000 to take you guys on a trip. If you're not going to enjoy it, fuck that. Like, I'm out, you know, like,
Yeah.
I got to take care of you guys. Like, they're
I'll
always
save
like,
$4,000 and leave you two at home.
literally, yeah, goodbye, we're going, you know. So the baby Willow, she gets like, she's been to so many countries already and like all these starred restaurants. Like, we're trying to get that kid to be like the one cultured, you know, like, let's go for everything kid. So we'll see.
Do babies get passports?
Yeah, you should see her freaking picture.
Okay.
It's the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life, dude. And it's so weird that they take a
rad.
picture of a baby at like 5 months old.
Dude,
you know, she doesn't even look like that now. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It could be anybody. Like,
she'll be. Those things last for like 10 years too. So she's like fucking like 11's. Like, this is her. Dude. Like,
hers only lasts 2 years. Yeah, we got to freaking.
Oh, okay.
I learned a lot about passports. I don't know if you guys know this, but I just went to Singapore. I lost 2.5 days of my trip because my passport. Oh my gosh, dude. It was ridiculous. Yeah, so I was going to go to Singapore with my family. I did an event for Visit California, and when the state asks you to do something, you're like, of course, you know, like. So we go down to LA, and I literally had to stay up through the night to prep the team for when I was gone and to get ready for the event. Literally fly out to LA, do the event, and then I go to get on the plane to go to Singapore to meet Jessica and them in San Francisco. And they're like, you can't get on the plane. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, your passport's going to expire within 6 months of your time arriving in Singapore. So my passport's fine. It's not expired, but they won't allow me to do that. They wouldn't even allow me to take my flight to San Francisco so I could meet up with Jessica, who has Willow, all of our luggage, because I was at an event, so I didn't want to take any luggage.
Side question real quick. Whose rule is that? Because what's an expiration date if it's 6 months before? Why not make
Don't ask these questions, Anthony. There's no answer.
I don't get it. Why isn't the expiration date 6 months before and just call that the expiration date?
It's the country, and it's a COVID law. So countries were worried about people, you know, coming, getting trapped because of COVID. Their thing expires and they can't get a passport in that country. So it was like this whole thing, and they've just never reversed it. So it was ridiculous. But I spent 2 days in San Francisco, luckily with my oldest daughter. She's going to be freaking 22 this year. So I'm old. Like, I have pictures of her like at Shrine of Scars shows, you know, and like the early Bled stuff, you know. She was around during so much of that time that, you know, I was playing death metal. She used to fall asleep naps, you know, the death metal. I'm going to be 42 in August.
Damn, you look good, old, dog. Dude. Oh, you look great.
You just started earlier, dude.
little heavy, but yeah, trying to be super happy. I think that's like literally what keeps you young. All the other shit like doesn't really matter. If you're happy, like it's easy, you know.
And I've noticed that about you. You like, I've seen you like, you know, do your live streams and stuff, and seen you talk on that stuff, and just the mindset that you have. It seems you're just constantly stoked. Like, you're always like,
and I was also gonna add that how when you were going live during your debacle that you just went through, and you know, following you through all the bullshit, and then you're finally in Singapore. I clapped, dude. I was like, you made it, dude. Throughout the whole thing, it was still intriguing to see that you were just keeping a positive mind. You were with your daughter, and you took advantage of, you know, getting that time with your daughter and still doing some cool shit in the places that you were getting stuck in, dude, and eating at good restaurants, like hearing your reviews of the restaurants you were eating during that time. It's still like, no matter what, you just got to keep that positive vibe, and it'll eventually just be okay. Everything's going to be okay, dude.
It's literally going to be what it's going to be anyways. And so there's zero reason to worry about something that's going to happen or maybe even could happen. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But you got to talk the talk, and then you have to walk that walk, right? It's like really easy to be a social media influencer, which is the reason I go live. That's like real shit. It's not curated. It's not like, you know, I wrote out a script and I have a reason to do this. I feel like the world just needs real. And I've also been at my very worst live, you know, on social media. You know, I tried to take my life in 2019, and I was dipping into that rail like on screen, and people were reaching out and trying to help me. You know, so much of it was really inspirational, you know, later in my life. But nowadays I'm just like, I just want to live a good life, want to be happy, want to live with my kids and my family and do cool shit. And if you get to do all that, then like shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride, right? Like
Totally.
Right.
no reason to
100%,
complain about anything, you know, like people in the passport office just bitching up a storm about how long it's taking. And I'm like, you realize that you're at a fucking place where you can get a passport in a day. Like, be thankful that that's possible,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's ridiculous, you know. So I just saw Jet Lotta come up. Just so you know, if anyone's ever in LA, you want the best Thai food outside of Thailand, Jet Lotta. Hands down, crazy delicious food. It's in a nasty ass strip mall, dirty, and they just absolutely slay it with Thai food.
Do you immediately just go to the? I mean, Thai food. I mean, I'm a not a super gnarly food connoisseur, but do you always just test the pad Thai first to be like, is this legit or not? And then you move on to
Fuck
the next
no.
things. You don't taste the
No.
pad Thai like it's like that's
No,
like
I
candy.
don't try pad Thai, dude. No, I'm not like knocking the dish. Like, whatever. It's, you know, it's good. I've had
Yeah.
really good versions in Thailand, in Bangkok, at like a famous place. It's all good.
Yeah.
But real Thai food is like spicy ass seafood and curries and rich broths, and like it's, I mean, Thai food to me is like, that's my comfort home. That is literally what I cook the most. It's what I eat the most. Like I
Okay.
keep going to that country because I freaking love that food. It is just, it's everything I want in a dish. So Thai
Do you
food
get
is
it Thai
serious,
hot?
and I'm
Do you
telling
get
you,
Thai hot when you go? Do you get Thai hot when you go?
Yeah.
When you go to
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You deal with the whole
and it fucking
ordeal.
hurts. Trust me. Like,
I
yeah,
know.
I'm not a cool guy. Like, I am literally drenched in sweat, hiccuping, freaking, yeah, it's
Yeah.
burning me alive, but it tastes so fucking good. I'm just like, never mind. Like, I don't care.
That's me, dude. I'll go through. I'll torture myself.
I know, me
I
too.
will-
I'll sweat it
I'll-
out. Yeah.
I don't even care.
Have you
what
ever
I
been to
look like.
Thailand, Anthony?
No, but I love Thai. Well, the Thai food that I've experienced, but obviously, I'm sure you could take me to a place in Thailand that'll blow my Thai socks
Tits
off,
off.
dude. Even though I
Yeah.
don't wear socks because I got flip flops on. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
But, no, I.
Do you
I
have
would
socks
love
on?
it. No, hell no, dude.
Well, thank you for that answer. That just made me feel more comfortable being on this podcast, because I don't fucking understand the socks and the fucking, no, dude, I don't get it.
Dude. No, dude, you gotta go full toes out, dude. But I wish, yeah, no, I live vicariously through you and other people that can travel the world and experience like the traditional, real versions of certain foods that I love here, because I know that a lot of things are Americanized. A lot of things are phoned in and kind of just slap a name on it and we'll call it whatever. But then there's chefs like you that actually do their due diligence by going and experiencing it and its place of origin and finding the best version of that you can find in that place, dude. I respect the shit out of that, dude. And yeah, your kids are gonna have stories forever, dude, if they follow you around the world
dude,
like that, you know?
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? Like, set them up to be better than I am and to learn more, and like always respect the idea that we live a pretty crazy, awesome life. Like, I seriously have to step back sometimes and be like, I was never good enough at death metal to make it, to do anything like serious as like a career or something. Just,
I mean, I differ, but go ahead.
I think that I write really interesting music. I think that I have some talent as a drummer, but I never became like a great drummer. And like, you watch someone like Gabe, Sieber, and that kid spends the time, right? Like, I can't spend the time. I got to spend that time cooking and getting better at my craft, because I'm a way better cook than I am a drummer. I mean, that much I think has already been settled, so spending that time doing that and just like pushing, I just never did that with drums, and I just don't ever think I got there. I would have been much better as a band member of like vocalist and structuring the songs and like figuring that stuff out. But as a musician, I wasn't a great guitarist. I wasn't a great drummer. And I should have got out of the way.
I love how sick drummers just like, you're a killer drummer. You're like,
yeah, I know,
Sick
but
Drummer magazines.
I'm going to
stop
you in your tracks right now, Chris, because you're a perfect version of the musician or artist that'll never praise anything that they do. Maybe
I praise lots that I do. I swear, like, it's not that. It's just, as you've seen from me in everything I do in life, I try to be super real, right? Like, I'm super proud of Aeon Fragmentation. I think it's a great album. I think it's interesting. I think it's, it keeps you listening. There's a lot of good things about it. It's also massively quantized, because I couldn't play any of the tracks anywhere near what is on that record. And it's tough to like, I would have had to have worked every day for like hours to get to that spot. And I already had a kid at the age of 20, you know what I mean? So I was already working full time, raising a kid, you know, my wife really raising a kid as I was trying to be a rock star. So I just am always real comfortable with it. Like, I don't think that we sucked. I think we were a good band. And I think it's the same as the food that I cook. It's interesting, you know, that's it.
That's awesome, dude. I love that way of thinking, because I'm the same way of thinking. I'm like, people always go like, oh, this guy rules at, you know, like they give me like high compliments, and I'm you know, like, I know, like, I'm not saying it
We
as
all
like
know what happens
like,
behind the scenes.
but like Casey's one of those guys that's like, he actually like rules, and he does the and I'm like, don't fucking do that. Like, I can do the and.
Right?
Like, I can do the and. You can't do the and, dude. Like, I know I'm
Totally.
logical. I understand. I have a logical brain. I understand that you're insane, and like, you can play bass better than me, you can play guitar better than me, you can fucking obviously play drums better than me, you can do everything
fuck you,
better
right,
than
Casey?
me musically. I know,
Fuck
I know.
you.
And he goes like, he's all no, what? He's all, no, whatever, shut up. And I'm like, dude, that's my line. You can't take my line. You're actually like a genius. I can't play this fucking this, like,
we're like a bunch of
it.
I don't know, sea animals, when we're in two separate bubbles that are like, you could see the other side of it and talk to the other side of it, and Casey's on the other side like, dude, I'm like, dude, you're with all the other sea creatures in that bubble, and I'm over here. You know, you can't lie right now. You're in that separate thing, dude. He's upper echelon.
Yeah, it's like
100%.
chasing Westmoreland. Watching that fucking asshole kid play my kit in my house and the dungeon, and just being like, fuck you, dude. Like, okay, great. So you're like a completely natural drummer that literally is flawless and, you know, can do whatever you want to do on a drum kit. I'm never going to be that fucking good, right? That's never going to happen. But, you know, you respect it so much that it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you get tired of him being like, yeah, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, it's same thing as Casey. I'm like, just shut the fuck up, dude. Like, now you ask me about my cooking, I'll be the same way. I'm totally cool. Like, am I one of the best chefs, you know, in California? It's so subjective, but I would say yes. You know what I mean? Like, I got no problem saying that. Like, I've worked myself to a certain level in cooking, but that's something I can actually claim and back up. I couldn't claim and back up being a great drummer, you know?
You know, like this.
Look at that flock of the seagulls, dude.
Sacramento gets its Michelin star. Like, you're the only Sacramento Michelin star rated chef, correct?
No. The kitchen got theirs in 2019. Look at that fucking hairdo, dude. That was
on whatever TV
By the
show
way,
you're on, because you're
that's
the globe.
Rockadoodle.
Yeah, we got the long hair nowadays.
Yeah,
oh yeah. That's awesome.
Not in the food.
No, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, still, that's the same thing. Like, if I was that good at that, I'd be like, yeah, we're sick. We crush it. You know what I mean?
Totally, right?
What was the name of the spoiler alert, the competition you won? That was a full family experience for me, dude. I had like my whole family sitting in the living room watching that shit go down, and we were rooting the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
That's so sick, dude. Like, I love that about TV. Like, is I found a different way to live and a different way to be. You realize that the platforms right now are taken up by people that are fake. You know, they're bots. They're saying things, you know, that get clicks and do this and do that. And I'm like, it's just like food, right? People are getting done with fucking bullshit food. They're like, we actually want some real food. Like, that's actually something that we want. I think there's a whole like change happening in the world right now. And I think that people are starting to want authentic and real for the first time in a long time, where we've kind of been so overfed all the trash for so long that we're like, fuck this, dude. Like, I just want something that I can fucking understand what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whole experience, dude. All right. Let's go back in time again, because I just want to know a little bit more about your upcoming in Sacramento, because we've praised Sacramento as being this bubble, this scene that is an important part of California death metal, and you guys were, you know, active during the time we were active up there. But just, you know, talk a little bit about getting into metal. What was everybody, you know, has their way in. I'd like to follow you down that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I always absolutely loved Sacramento, man. Even when I grew up in Forest Hill, which is a little tiny mountain community. Then I moved to Auburn. I moved out of my house early, finished high school on my own, living with the Shrine of Scars dudes. And when I got out, it was just like every chance I could get, I'd go to Sacramento. There was something there going on, you know, for someone that grew up in Forest Hill. Sacramento was like LA is to me now. You know, it's a huge city. And getting to play some shows. I remember playing the Distillery as a 17-year-old kid, and you weren't supposed to be in there unless you were 21. That was just like that whole time playing in China Scars, and then another band called World of Lies. I recorded an album with them called Material God. And we recorded it in San Francisco, and I think I might have been like 18 or 19, and just playing all the Sacramento venues, West Coast Live, I think it was called. It just was such a cool thing. And I always thought that Sacramento actually had a pretty decent scene. A lot of great bands, you know, have come from here, and I felt like the scene was always pretty welcoming and pretty fun. And I just loved playing death metal in Sacramento. It was always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now talk about getting into listening to metal, like your first introduction to the heavy shit.
Yeah, Master of Puppets will forever be the first like real album of metal that I heard. I think I was like 8 years old or 9 years old, so it was really, really early. It was playing at an uncle's house, and because my parents never listened to like metal, they were definitely not into that. Country, you know, like I said, everything else, but no metal. And I heard Master of Puppets.
Mom's side or dad's side? Uncle and mom or dad?
Okay. On my mom's side. So her two sisters got divorced and married a couple of times. And those guys were around, you know, for, you know, I don't know, 2 or 6 years or whatever, and then gone. And one of them was who I heard that album from. I remember being like, what is this? And he's like, this is Metallica and Master of Puppets. And then, I don't know, it's pretty quick for me, like to instantly start looking for heavier. I don't know why. I just wanted heavier and heavier. So I got to Pantera, which I still love. Like, it's so funny, the bands that metalheads clamor around and ones that they just like completely shun as just like terrible and disgusting. But nonetheless, the first death metal album was 6 Feet Under, the Haunted. I was just like, holy shit, like this is so awesome. Never heard anything like it. And then it was just an instant dive into everything extreme. And then that was pretty much it. That's all I listened to for years and years and years.
And did you have friends that were into the same stuff? When did that come around? Meeting another metalhead?
Yeah, no, the metalheads came because if you grow up in Forest Hill, it's tiny. It's like, I don't know, 2,000 people or 2,500 people. And these kids would kind of like, you know, grow up together, and then you'd go off to Auburn and go to high school, which was like a bigger spot. Once I got to high school, I started getting active playing guitar and looking for like a metal band, like I played in a cover, I guess you call it a cover band. I don't know what the hell it was, but called Creepers for Creeping Death, where we played like a show at Placer High School, playing, you know, Metallica cover songs, not very well. It wasn't like we were a great band. And then it just kind of kept progressing. And there was a point for sure where my listening capability went way further than my musical talent. I could hear the riffs in my head, but I couldn't play them on guitar. And that started becoming a frustrating thing, like early on in my death metal career, was just not really having the ability to do what I could hear in my head. I think that's why I love cooking so much. Like I can literally think of a dish and then do it. It would be so aggravating if every time I did a dish, I'm like, this isn't that good, or this isn't what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And that was death metal for me.
There's no quantizing a dish, dude.
No, exactly right. Like, and you know, you can be the second that you hand that dish to somebody, it's their opinion that matters. You're literally out of the fucking picture. You mean nothing.
Yeah,
that's
totally
their opinion now, you know, and you have to take that. So yeah, it's a definitely different beast, but same too. Like it's being in front of a crowd. It's, you know, feeling that energy and all that stuff. I mean, that's what I think we all chase when we're playing live, is that feeling of a crowd being into it and pushing, and, you know, the energy that happens is pretty awesome.
Have you ever made a dish like with you know, because there's two different forms of art. There's music, and then there's you know, cooking and being a chef. Have you ever made a dish that started from an auditory influence, like something like that you're thinking of, like a metal band or something, or a rock band or a psychedelic band? Yeah, can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, I'm so blazed right now too. I was just gonna light this thing up again, and I'm like, I should probably not, dude.
I was
Like
just about
forgetting
to
what we're
light it up
talking
again
about.
with you.
I know,
Yeah.
man. Damn.
Light it up and talk about what Black Sabbath on a plate is, dude.
Well, the answer to your question is yes. I have definitely written dishes based on music. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Hot take right now. You're hearing it first. Cooking is the ultimate art medium. Nothing beats it. You don't taste music, you don't hear a drawing, and I literally use that in my conversation with our guests every night. But when you're dining at a restaurant, every sense that you have as a human being is being engaged. So I love this art form. I feel like it's at the highest level. It is so about prep and practice and execution and timing and all of the detail work, which is why I love Spawn of Possession. It's like my favorite death metal band of all time.
Yeah.
Solely
Me
based
too.
on the fact that
Me
you
too.
can just sit there and listen and just try to pick up every note, but there's no way it's going to happen. But yet it all makes sense, has melody, has rhythm, has all of that shit. Like that to me is like Michelin star dining, is like when you're cooking at that level, and then you get to add in the emotional state. Like in the past 3 months, we talk about it every night right now. And it's like, this is that point where I don't care about bragging. It's fine. 3 months of people just like literally getting in tears over food that we serve at Localis. Like it's crazy to me. Like people teary-eyed last night, seat 3, first counter, just like 57-year-old on her birthday with her daughter and her, daughter's guy or whatever, and crying because she's never had an experience like this.
Wow.
Like not every person gets that from Localis, but the fact that it's like happening 5 or 6 times a week is kind of like mind-blowing, man. Like it just makes you feel so grateful that you get to do that. And I don't think I would ever be able to do that with death metal, or even music in general. I just don't think I'm really like going to reach that same sort of like, heartstring thing, but then I think about the songs I hear and literally can give you goosebumps or whatever. So I don't know, maybe it is possible.
Oh, dude, I've been on the verge of tears at plenty of concerts, and that's kind of what I was thinking about when you were saying that that lady was experiencing, the same thing going to the movie theater, and an intense part of a movie makes you want to cry or makes you want to have an involuntary emotion,
Yeah.
It's totally, it makes sense because we're not talking going to, your normal run-of-the-mill restaurant. This is, like you said, a whole experience when you walk into that restaurant, and everything is set in a way that you guys are trying to make a real experience for these people, and if you're making people have these involuntary emotional reactions, then you're doing something right, and as an artist, to have that instant feedback is watching the kid in the crowd that is having that on the verge of tears experience while watching your music being played.
Yeah, I don't know how many death metal bands get that. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think a lot of death metal bands are moving people? Like, I listen to a extremely varied, genre split of music. I usually say I listen to everything, and I legit mean it. I don't like punk rock very much. It's just too fucking simple for me. And I don't see rap really, like current age rap, as music. It's entertainment, and I'm cool with entertainment, but it's just a different thing for me. But yeah, there's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I don't even know what the hell we were talking about.
As far as like I would say, like, you're definitely onto something. I would say, like, as far as death metal to me, like, it's a different emotion. It gives me like chills. It gives me like excitement.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like a heightened sense, but it doesn't. Oh crap! I can see my internet. I'm in the mountains right now. But as far as like, there's other music out there that just like fucking, I get like, I fucking emotional. Like I get like my body will freak out. Like I'm thinking of like, just certain
Igor, dude. Igor, I almost cried at certain times, but that's not the metal parts. It's when they're having their, operatic sounding, epic sounding stuff in between the metal that makes you literally want to fucking be like, dude, I'm gonna cry in front of my friends right now.
No, I cry all the time. I cry all the time, but it's not like a cry. It's like a stoked cry. I'm like, that's so sick.
How was that again?
Let 1 or 2 tears out and just fucking sick, dude.
I'm like, there's this cry sometimes where I'm like kind of emotional about like, oh, I wish like, like something family related would like I think of like a family thing from the past or something, and I'm like, oh, I wish blah blah this song blah, it like kind of brings me back to something like that. But then there's certain feelings or even watching sports, dude. I'll tear because it's so sick. I'm like, that guy is insane. That's so fucking sick. I don't even understand how you do that.
And just so you know, I'm on the opposite side, dude. Like sports to me, I'm just like, what the fuck ever, dude. Like I don't care at all. I have teams that I like because I'm Sacramento or because my family's from Minnesota, but like, I don't know, man. That's like I lived with a guy named Hunter who played like in the early versions of Bled, and he was like die-hard Packers fan, and every Sunday morning, like early morning, screaming at the television already. I mean, just like fucking in it, like
I don't scream at the television. I just go like, what the fuck? This sucks. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
well, is that now or is that with the future wifey? Are you like toning it down to like make sure you're like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Into sports. We built an outdoor sports
bar.
She's an athlete herself. She's an athlete herself.
Yeah, she's a soccer player. She's a actually pretty gnarly soccer player. But I hated soccer. It's a funny thing. Is like I hated soccer. That was the one thing. I was like, I put my foot in the sand. I was like, fuck baseball and soccer, but everything else is cool. And then she got me into soccer, and I'm like, oh, soccer's. I mean, it's the most played sport by far in the world. And there's like 50 leagues that are like, they have like 50 NFLs. You know what I mean? It's like a million NFLs of the top play. Like you don't even know who's the best team. There's like so many good players that you're like, it's just an insane sport. And you have to run at least 11 miles like per game. It's like it's just it's insane endurance and it's like all the things. But yeah, no, I mean I was it's the thing that was bred into me as a kid. Like every Sunday, my dad was super into football, like eggs, all these things, and sit down and watch, like have a nice breakfast and watch the games, and like waffles or whatever, and like watch football. And it was kind of like just bred in me as a from 5 years old. So I didn't know any different. I got to see Joe Montana play right like from 5 feet in front of me, throwing a football. I got to see Michael Jordan shoot a basketball right in front of me, and I was like, because he'd bring me to these games and shit, and I would just be like, that is the sickest fucking shit I've ever seen. As a kid, that they were the heroes. It's all. We didn't have social media. We just had, we had Michael Jordan was, in our age group was ridiculous. Like we were like, that guy's not even a human being. We don't even know the way they hyped him up and stuff. And I mean, obviously now I think a little differently of it. But at the time, being a kid, I was like, what rather than being in, watching some TV show or fantasy or cartoon or something, which I did watch. But like, I was like, this guy actually is right there in front of me, and he's the best in the world. And I'm watching his do his thing right in front of me, like human, human. Like I was like,
how old are you, Joel?
Fuck, I'm turning 40 in 2 months, almost exactly 2 months. So,
and Anthony,
I'll be turning 40 in how many more months am I after you? You're July 27th, right?
You're July 27th?
No, I'm July 27th.
I'm August 27th.
Yeah, my sister's August 27th.
I'm October 26th, dude. I wish I was 27th. We could have been 327.
Dude.
Let's remove him from the podcast. This sucks.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Seriously, you know what? I'm out. No, I'm just
dude.
I know.
That was crazy. It was pretty close though.
And I need to make a break anyways. I feel like I'm gonna, I need a little something real quick. I'm gonna be flying out to New York to do another TV show, which is rad.
What TV show, dude? Are you
no, I can't tell you, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Saturday Night Live? Dude. Fuck yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. I love competitive cooking. It's like the most brutal show you've ever played in your life because there's no prep crew, there's no team, there's no anything, and you don't know what you're gonna be doing. So you literally walk into a kitchen and fucking cook. Like I'm primal. I think I like that. When I'm cooking, like it's primal. It just comes, it just happens. That's what it is.
How many days? Is it a few days of shooting or how does it work?
Yeah, just like 2 days. The Globe was like a week plus, and then all the other shows are like 2 days or whatever. It's not really ever been too long. Trying to get on a Top Chef one day.
So on the Globe,
Oh,
you
fuck.
said it was like a
Yeah.
week or something. Was the family there with you, just hanging at the hotel while you were shooting?
No,
No.
no, they had to be at home. We couldn't bring anybody. When I shot the Globe, it was actually during COVID.
Oh yeah.
So
damn.
everything was
Okay.
locked down. It was like not a great experience. I got sugarfish sushi delivery, and this is literally some of the best sushi I've ever had in my life. And I just remember sitting in a fucking hotel room eating sushi, being like, "How did I get this sushi in this hotel room right now? Like, this is crazy." It's like my
Yeah.
favorite part of the whole trip. But it was a weird time because everything was, closed.
Crazy. And I mean, with
Damn.
you had started Localis like not too long before the pandemic happened too, right?
Yeah, we opened in 2015. So we were open
15.
for like
Right.
5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
off.
9
I'm
years this
sorry.
year, July 10th.
That's crazy to and for a fine dining experience like you guys are, you still stayed sending food out during the pandemic and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
You
we
had
did
a
to-go
menu still
tasting
going?
menus. Yep. Every
That's
2 weeks, we
crazy.
changed the whole menu, 3 or 4 courses, little wine pairings and like jars so you could take them home. Yeah, we just tried to be what we are during COVID. It's just like people were changing, and we could have gone to something very easy like, burgers and pizza and sushi. Like those kind of foods, like absolutely skyrocketed during COVID. Like some businesses didn't open up until way later because they're like, we're making so much money and there's no, like dining room to worry about. So it was like that for a long time, but I just never really wanted to cook for any other reason than the love of it. I could go back to my old career and make a lot more money, but I love cooking. So I'm just going to stay
What
doing
was your
this
old
for
career?
a while. Electrician.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
You can make
Yeah.
bank
And
being
you guys know what a
electrician.
lot of money is even nowadays. Like I made a lot of money as an electrician. Like that's how I fucking funded Dismal Lapse. It's not like we were so good we were getting paid. Like it was more so of just like I had a shitload of money to spend on a van and whatever I wanted to
Yeah.
spend it on, which
The
also is not good for
production,
the
'cause
ego.
no, I know.
Yeah,
I was
know,
gonna
right?
say the production of that Aeon fragmentation. Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
The production on that record is top notch, dude. Like
It's
the
Naveen,
mix
man.
is super well,
Oh, that's
dude.
right.
And the
I remember
bass
hearing about
player
that.
ripping, and everybody's sick on that record.
Who did
dude.
not like me at all when we recorded with him.
Really?
He's like,
Oh,
dude,
Totally, yeah.
it's like you.
I was a
dude.
different
What's
cat
going
back
I'm just
then.
kidding. I'm kidding.
It was
I think
so
we
fucking
all
funny,
were,
man.
dude. There's I mean, being in your young 20s, dude, and just everybody's alphaing out in certain situations, but depending on your relationship, is it a healthy competition or is it a real fucking serious competition? That's how things are gonna
Yeah.
happen until we hit 26, 27 and shit mellows out and everything kind of normalizes and we're like, oh dude, all right, let's coast this out for a little bit. And all of a sudden
Man,
we're fucking 40.
yeah. See, I have a whole different view because having a daughter at 20, like on my birthday, Emily's born. And then that's the beginning of like, I had to find a balance for everything because I wanted to do a band, but I also had a child. I was like a solo parent for about a year before Jessica and I got together. And then Jessica pretty much like did so much of all the work of, of raising Emily. So I could go do tours and do all that stuff. So it was a very strange like feeling growing up so fast. And then by the time I was 30, I had 3 kids. I had completely changed my careers from one to the next, stopped playing music in general. It was actually like my wife, now girlfriend, then literally stopped me after a pretty long tour and was like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. So either things change or I'm out. And that's when I found cooking, like literally, because I was sulking on the edge of my bed. I'm like, well, I know I'm not going to be a rock star. I'm not going to make it. That's not going to happen. And I don't fucking like my career anymore. And then the Art Institute commercial came on and said, travel the world through food, be a chef. And I was like, that sounds rad. Because touring really to me was access to touring, like going out places and seeing new places. That's really what the draw was for me. It wasn't anything other than just being able to travel and see things. So now I get to do that in a much more comfortable way because fuck touring sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you don't have to go like you don't have to
Fucking
go
miserable.
perform. Yeah, you just get to go eat and drink. Like, what a
Yeah,
bummer.
literally.
Like,
And at the highest level. I mean, remember, it's not like I'm going to like decent places. Like I get to go meet, chefs that are absolutely, incredibly talented and amazing places that, make these specific ingredients. And we're heading to Italy with kind of a large group of us, my general manager, my sous chef, my assistant general manager. We're all going to Italy for 2 weeks. We're going to tour, have all this time with, different people all throughout Italy, come back, create a menu based on that experience and launch it. Like, as I say it sounds like a fucking movie, right? Like literally, that's kind of what we get to do. So if I could play music really well, and then I could travel and I could go do things, and I'd probably want to do that. But I am definitely not that.
To experience what you guys create after that, dude. That might be the time that I go to Localis, dude, is when they bring back all the Italian secrets,
shit.
Yeah. Italian's good. We're launching Singapore on Wednesday. So I just got back last week, and then on Wednesday we launched the whole Singapore menu. So there's no time in between. You just have to get all of your shit ready.
Talk about the quote unquote jam sessions that you guys have with these ideas that you bring back from these places. Like, you guys work as a team to come up with like what you want to do, or are you the main writer of the Singapore album, quote unquote?
Yes. Well, Anthony, just so you know, there's no other way in life to be than my personal vision. So I pretty much just drop it at that. It always been like that.
You're the Chuck Schuldiner of the fucking band, dude.
Yeah, that reminds me. You say Chuck Schuldiner. When you guys showed up to my house, I said something that, if you don't know, I'll just be really transparent. I'm one of the most paranoid people on earth. Like, everyone's out to get me all the time. Like, people don't like me. I said something wrong, like all of these things. And I said something along the line, well, yeah, like picking up the torch from death, and really taking it to a new level or something like that. And I remember all the Decrepit Birth guys being like, yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what did I just say that like pissed these guys off? Like, I thought about that for months afterwards. I was like, dude, did I say something pissed. Like, it just cracked me up. I mean, that's me, dude. Like, I'm so uncomfortable most of the time. Like, I've had to learn to deal with it.
A lot of stories about that house. We told a lot of stories of just the underground jam place you had. Like, talk about. I actually want more information on that, because I heard that you guys, through like Gabe Severs, told me, like, people have told me that you guys did shows down there or something back in the day.
We did shows for like a decade. Sleep Terror, Defeated Sanity. Like the opportunity to watch some of like these incredible bands just like shred it. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm still just like baffled. We weren't good enough to play with Defeated Sanity when we, did this little tour with them. I just put myself out there and was like, do it. But they came and stayed with me for a while. And that was another experience I'll never forget. Like Wolfgang and my now 22-year-old poke around the corner. She's like literally 6 years old or 7 years old. She's young. And they both pop around the corner and they're like, is there ice cream? And I just, literally, Wolfgang, this fucking shredder, like just such a great guitarist. And having them be with me for that couple of weeks and stuff, like that was some of my very best, memories. And that's kind of like towards the end of Dismal Lapse. I realized at that time that I couldn't give it the attention that I needed. I was never going to be that good. And if I was really going to progress, like as a musician, you have to put like as much effort as I do into cooking, into music. And that just didn't pan out, that's kind of when that was the beginning of the end for me. So
being a family man is a hard thing to do if you want to keep being in a band, because you already, touring is out the window, because I hated being on tour as a dad. And if you guys can do it as dads out there and everything's chill, that's fine. But for me, it just like tore me up, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't care. When I was out there, even though I was having a good time with the boys and all that stuff, I still was, once I was off stage, the immediate thought was like, I'm out on the road. My son's at home with my wife all by themselves. What the fuck am I doing out here? You know, barely any money, eating pizza.
Yeah, you're a much better man than me. I'm like, yo, let's go.
I didn't make the best of it, but you know what I'm saying.
Of course,
like,
yeah. No, I know.
Looming thought in the back of the mind the whole time.
Well, Chris has been a dad since 20, though. When did you
literally
have your first kid, Anthony?
27 was when.
Okay.
Trevor was
And
born.
There's your
You've got
27.
2, right?
There's your 27.
Or I turned 27 right after he was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you have 2, right?
Kids.
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah. 2 boys. Is the girl just like run the household?
She's the young one. She definitely runs that household, dude.
Dude, Willow is not even 2, and she is a fucking monster. Like, she's way too cute. She's way too just like personable and just emotional, and like she's everything you want in a freaking baby. And I can already tell that I'm losing the war. It's fucking over already. It's making me so mad. I'm still waging against the boys every day. I'm like, you will be disciplined and you will do better this. And with her, I'm just like, whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't care. Like, just
yeah. Being a girl dad changes you again, dude. I had 2 boys and I was like, oh, dude, boy.
So you guys both
2.
had 2 boys
like,
and a girl, right?
Yeah. And
no, I had a girl and then 2 boys and then a girl.
Oh, dude, you got 4.
Quattro. Okay.
Yeah, I got 4. So Emily, like, I remember being in a goat horror t-shirt. I had super, super long hair, and I always did my daughter up right. Like when we went out, because I was like, this is my little girl. So I'd like dress her up pink, hair, all this stuff. And I used to just crack up seeing the looks of people like, what the fuck is this weirdo doing with this little girl? Like, something's wrong here. It was hilarious. I mean, I live in fucking Auburn, it's not like death metal. There was actually some death metal people in Auburn, like the New Plague wrote really interesting, music and had like a kind of a cool vibe to them. And Shrine of Scars. And I mean, I can't remember all the bands now because I'm ridiculously high, but there was a lot of cool death metal even happening up there. And that's kind of what spawned the dungeon. Like, to go back to what you were actually asking about.
The dungeon is what's called. It was called
that's
the
what it was called.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
I was
gonna give a little side note on that because we recently went to Auburn Ale House in the last month or something, and there's a small little record store right up the street from that place
in Old Auburn, right?
Yeah. And going into the record store, which was it was small and not much there, but it was still cool to flip through records and CDs, whatever. But what made me excited was the flyers out front, and there was 3 or 4 straight up death metal shows that were being. You could totally tell by the logos, even though if they're just local bands, they're definitely death metal bands. And I was just like, yes, dude.
Yeah.
Just like stuff still bubbles up, no matter if I'm paying attention or not. It just bubbles up, and there it is. And I saw Cartilage, and like Adam Hellman, shout out. That's his situation, and I saw his flyer, and I was just like, yeah, dude. No matter what, that train's just gonna keep on running, dude.
And we've talked about it many times. I mean, me and Anthony and like me living there for 5 years in Sacramento, and seeing the metal scene flourish, and just like go to a random show, like Gabe would be like, hey, come to this show at I forget, not on the Y, but like downtown. I forget what it was called. It was like downtown, but it was kind of outside downtown. I don't know what the fuck it was called, but it was a great venue. And I would just be like, whatever, it's a Tuesday night death metal show. Like, there's going to be, like 15, 20 people, whatever. Let's go have some beers. And it was like packed with it was all local bands. It was all like, and I was like Santa Cruz doesn't hold a candle to this shit. I don't think even San Francisco does. And I was like, this is like the up and coming scene. I would just tell all my friends, like, I feel like this is the new San Francisco back in the old days of where the shows are, and there's a scene here of these bands that will open up that are awesome. Like, and it was really impressive. And a lot of people that would go there, like friends' bands, would show up and have some Sacramento bands opening, and they're like, these bands are fucking sick. This whole scene is awesome. Like they would like really prop it up, and I would be like, dude, I'm seeing it right before my eyes. Like this is an actual like it's an affordable place to live. It's not San Francisco or any of those places, but it's like it's got that kind of like it's got that death metal. Like people are down for different styles of music out there. People want country, people want death metal, people want hip hop. They want all the kind of like more outsider styles of music. And I'm seeing it like now that Roseville, what's that place? Anthony, you went to the
Goldfields.
Goldfields.
Yeah,
And seeing that pop up and they have a really nice sound system and it's looking good
and
there.
the brewery next door had really good food. That's where me and Matt did the Vox and Hops episode that I did.
Oh,
did I say Max?
Yeah.
I meant Matt. I don't know if I said Max or Matt. Max is from
might have been Harlow's I was talking about earlier.
Warforged.
But yeah, that's it's just
that's a good little venue
area.
too. It's small, but that's whoever the sound guy that night was on point because
they do it right, man. They catch a whole lot of flack. Like there's so much fucking politics and everything, which is so annoying because they let every kind of band play there. It's a well done venue. They do so many things right, and it's just like that's the culture we live in. Is we'd rather just fucking shred any part that we can to bring them down, versus being like, hey, they're fucking offering a good venue at all ages with decent things to drink and okay things to eat. Like so many of those checks are marked, and it just seems like it's an incessant need to fucking bring people down all the fucking time. I love Goldfields. I love what they do, and I think you're exactly right. You can go there as an opening, like local band and get good sound and actually sound good. That's fucking awesome, and then obviously people are gonna fucking like your shit.
It has a lot to do with the shape of the place. It's like a wide but kind of like narrow, like there's more people wide than there is back. So I don't know how that sound system is in there, but no matter where you stand, yeah, it's somehow more compacted or compressed maybe in this space to where you have more options to be wherever you want to be and still get a good sound.
Yeah. And just completely sidetrack the conversation. Two things. Number one, I want to spend some time talking about Gabe Sieber because when you talk about Sacramento, I mean, I saw him before Obscura and he was like, I don't think I should try. Like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not good enough. And I told him right to his face. So I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, you're going to do great. And then he did. And he's like, amazing. And secondarily, like the dungeon, we had, I hate exaggeration because it's like a little bit of a lie. And I try to live straight up honest all the time. But we probably had like at least 100 shows, if not more, at the dungeon in the 10 years that we were doing it. Like there was at least 100 shows. Yeah, this is my house. The whole, and we were renting, by the way. We did not own.
Oh my
god.
Yeah. Thunderdome, same thing. We had a Thunderdome. We called it the Thunderdome. It was Sleep Terror played there. They decrepit all the like things, but we ended up getting the cops. Carnivorous. Animosity.
See, I'm out on 7 acres, so I'm like,
That's right. You're still at the same place. You're still at the same place.
Yeah, I bought it.
That was awesome. Fuck yeah. I mean, just walking down there, I was like, but thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, they had a bunch of shows there. Did he just like openly invite anyone that wanted to show up? Was that something?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it was terrible sometimes. I mean, all the stupid shit that happens at a venue happens at your house. You know what I mean?
So they gotta walk through the kitchen to get there, right? I remember that's my brain.
No, it was a door downstairs. So I could keep them separate. I kept my house mostly, separate. Actually, that's the only time I ever got in a fight at my house at a show. Was a guy's like literally walking into my home and he's just like, I'm like, hey brother, you got to stop. Like, sorry. And he's just like, oh no, dude, I'm cool. I'm like, no, you're not. This is my fucking house. And we ended up swinging on each other, like, because it's my home. And I'm like, dude, my kids are up there, bro. Like don't think that that's okay right now. So you deal with all that stupid shit. But selfishly, honestly, the bands that got to play at the dungeon and the fact that I had a very good PA and I had, a little sound booth set up, 20 feet back from the stage. I've played my own venue plenty of times, like I say a venue because we try to run it like that. But it was a pretty awesome opportunity to see some bands play And same thing. I love sound. I love good sound, like good production and good live production.
Mhm.
That's half the battle, to sounding,
Right.
great or whatever. And to be able to tune in bands like Defeated Sanity or Sleep Terror, or like some of these great bands that got to play there. Hey, what's up?
Looking for a bottle of wine.
What wine?
The
I'm
Duval
literally getting asked to find a bottle of wine.
No,
The
it's all
Dumal?
good.
Estate
All good.
2019.
Let's hear it. Let's
It's going to be right up here,
2019.
Dumal, 2019 Pinot. Yeah. You know what? Since we're on this, I say that you just take one of the Farrens, offer them the same price, and tell them the story about how this is like the rarest Pinot ever.
Okay, it's for Jess and her friend.
Oh, it's for Justin, her friend? Yeah, that.
Okay,
Go
thank
for
you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Thank you.
This is why you go
Real
to
life
locales,
stories.
Dude.
Straight up. Okay, and I gotta correct you. Localis.
Mhm.
Localis, fuck.
You gotta say it as white as possible.
I said it right.
Like,
I said
no
it. I said it
flair.
right.
Anthony
But-
did say it
but-
right. Yeah, he's like, look at, I did
Well,
that
he's-
shit
he-
right. So
He's is that a Italian word though?
no, it's a Latin
Alright.
translation for local.
Well, I'm a fucking local Santa Cruz, so I could say whatever.
What'd you say? Localese? What'd you say? Localese?
Yeah, if you
Localis.
Google it, it's super funny. Localese. There's all different pronunciations, but yeah.
I've definitely brought my Santa Cruz to it. I'm like, fucking locales? You gonna go fucking locales?
I'm
that's definitely my
cultured.
brain
I've been
just
to
made
a
that
fine
up.
dining restaurant. Like
I
I've
know,
been to
dude.
one,
We
you
did-
know?
we didn't have a star when you came, right, Joel?
Yeah,
No, you did.
No,
I think you did. You did.
I did.
I watched all the.
Huh.
Yeah, it was last year.
So, in full transparency too, like you never posted about it or anything. And I thought like the same thing. I'm like, did he like not really enjoy it? Or do you think like
I posted about it.
oh, I don't even remember, dude. I probably was just, like I said, being super paranoid, but I remember like you're worried about like, coming to my restaurant and I'm like, man, I just really want to impress this guy, man. And I hope he really likes it, like, so that's
Dude,
just
I was
the
blown away.
fun of the two sides of it, like, but yeah, it's,
no, it was. I mean, I didn't know what I was walking into. Because sometimes, and you actually made it really fun. And the cool thing about how every dish, in between every dish, you would explain where it came from. You'd explain the influence behind it, and you would like a breakdown. I didn't know the basically the order of operations that was going to happen there. So when I kind of figured it out on dish 2 or 3, I was like, this is sick. We get to understand like what he was thinking when he did this. Like it's not just like, oh, this is like a. It comes out, you order it.
This next song is Baby Killer.
you're like, okay.
Dude.
Those dumb eggs as a, like a sprinkle of
A death metal night at the restaurant. Just one night.
Okay,
where
so
you do-
this
Oh,
is
yeah,
already
this is
happening,
metal
guys.
This is a death
This
metal
has
night.
already
You were doing this a while
happened.
ago. Yeah.
I did death metal happy hour. I served all like fried brains and like just weird shit that was super tasty, like death metal-y stuff. It was an okay success, wasn't great.
Yeah.
But we played like good death metal and did that. Now I have a lot more sway. Like I have a lot more ability to do something cool like that. I am for sure going to do a death metal series. Early on you asked the question of if I've ever based a dish on music. And there is a jazz harpist named Dorothy Ashby. And she is one of those musicians to me, like Spawn of Possession is to metal. She's just like on a whole nother level than everyone else is. And I wrote a song called Atom, which is a concept that I do as a pop-up, a taste of music. So, ATOM. And I wrote a dish based on her, and even did a musical staff with like a dark roux sauce, and then the notes were different components of the dish, so you eat it kind of like a song. And that's the kind of shit that gets me super excited about tying
That's so
music
sick.
and food together, and we
That's
always get
that's
complimented
awesome.
on the music at Localis, which I think is such a dope thing, because so much fine dining is such trash fucking music all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Boring
that's
as fuck, like-
Actually, did you have music playing when I was there?
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Joel.
That's how entrenched I was in the food and like making sure I was being okay. Because you also
That's how much
served
you were
me
worried
12
about not
drinks.
fucking up.
You served me 12 drinks, dude. You served me 12 drinks.
You ordered 12 drinks, dude.
Like-
Like I served you 12 drinks.
Joel.
No,
Let me
you,
get
it was,
a
it was,
number
you gave me the
12.
no. You gave me the world package or something, some sort of a package.
The world
Like-
package.
What'd you
World
call it?
star. Fucking go.
But like,
So
remember,
what
like,
happened was
yeah, go ahead.
you guys got your dinner, and then the pairings. I said she gets the time and place, which is like the high end, like, really expensive special wines. And I did it for her was it close to her birthday?
I think maybe her birthday had just happened. Yeah. I think her birthday.
Yeah,
had just
it was
happened.
something like that. I remember
Yeah, it
because
was her
that's
birthday
why
trip.
like
It was. Yep, 100%.
which is like one of those weird things too when you own a restaurant like I, run. It's expensive. Like there's no doubt about it. Like it's an expensive restaurant. Then you think about what we offer for what you pay. Like would you pay $300 or $400 for like a really fucking dope day, at the beach, whatever, blah blah blah. Yes, of course you would, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem that weird when you're talking about it like that, but a lot of people don't associate food at a very high level with their enjoyment. Like that's not important to them. But the people that is,
how long
Go ahead.
does a number 12 take?
Yeah, can you supersize that shit for me, please, Joel? Yeah, sounds good.
Holy shit.
So the 12-course tasting menu at Localis currently is $197.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna say price. I meant like time wise. Like, am I having a more than 2 hour,
2.5, 3 hours?
Dude,
Yeah.
that sounds. That's the type of dinner that I want to experience. Just where
Dude, it's insane. You have to. It's a one of a kind. I'll never. I talk about this story every time of just like all the mistakes I made walking in, everything like I did, like ordering a number 12, all that stuff, and then also like just understanding that every fucking dish is paired. I mean, the ones that the thing we got was paired with a different kind of a drink, and sometimes there'd be mixed drinks. Sometimes there'd be wine. So then, like, we just left like full and satisfied and just drunk as shit, and was like, that was fucking the sickest thing ever. Like, we were like, we were so like blown away. We were like, that's like, because to me, I'm not a real big like. I mean, there's some visual art that blows me away, but I'm more of like, there's other kinds of art that are like auditory, and then obviously now, like understanding what you did, like that. I've never seen plates like this. I see them on TV and shit, but like. You see, like when you see that, to me, I thought that was like that's your dinner that's this one dish and it's your dinner. It's not like 12. You have 12 things coming at you, and that's what kind of like that's what the fine dining. And I was like, I got kind of anxiety before. I'm like, I feel like I don't know what's coming, so I feel like I should probably do research on it. And
that's
still
kind of the roller
coming.
coaster that an experience like that could be for somebody.
No, I loved it. It was way better than I expected. As far as
just
like,
putting
I thought I was going to order a meal.
Restaurant.
I thought I was going to order one meal and just be like, it's a meal. All right, cool. What's for dessert? All right, I'll order this number 12. Like, I thought it was going to be something like that. I didn't know it was going to be a whole experience of like a story behind every dish and
it's a concept album
together. Yeah, totally. It's
every 5 weeks
concept album. Yeah.
The whole thing changes. Like this is the dude. Have you guys have you ever thought it was a day that it wasn't so bad that you like get weird and like stomach cramps? Like what the hell is going on? I thought it was Thursday and it's Friday or whatever.
100%.
Oh my God. I experienced that this week and it was just fucking so stressful. And I'm like, holy shit, it was 10:38 and it was last night. And I'm like, I missed the podcast. Like, what the fuck? They didn't even call me. I swear to you, like that's what it was the podcast. And I was like, it's 10:38. Like those motherfuckers didn't even tell me that I missed it, like, and I started getting freaked out and I'm like, holy shit. And then I realized obviously that it's not that, but we're finishing the very last week of a whole menu called The Tastier Side of Middle Earth. It's all Lord of the Rings inspired.
Sick.
I don't know if you guys have the possibility, but I think it would be super dope. I just posted today one of the dishes from this menu. It's black on black on black. It's such a fucking so the whole menu is so fun because there's a lot of elements like farmer maggots, carrots. They talk about those in the show. Lambus bread or the movie, the books. Lambus bread, elven bread, boil and mash them, stick them in a stew. Brace of conies, which is all about rabbits. And then we got really, intrigued. I got really intrigued because it is solely me that like creates the menus. As soon as the menu is out, then we all talk about how we can make that happen in the best possible way.
That's what I knew he was talking about this one right here.
Yeah. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna like give the same
Yeah, go
spiel
for
I
it.
would give in the
Do it,
restaurant
do it.
because
No, I loved it. Go for it.
it's hard to create a dish based on something that isn't about food at all. So this is Helm's Deep, the Battle of Rohan, and the whole idea is the whole spanning story of Rohan and what happens there. Obviously, the battle happens in the blackest part of night. There's no light, and if you've read the books, which I have multiple times, he's really descriptive about how dark and black it is in that night. So we did black on black presentation, which is kind of hard to do once again to make food look like that. Then getting deep into like the storyline, Theoden, the king, wakes up and is like, "Where's my son? His son is dead." They go down and symbol Maya, which is the little white flower that only grows on the graves of his forebears. It's called forget-me-nots. It's the same thing, and Tolkien wrote about that. So that's that little flower on top of the mound. So now you have that part of the story.
Wow.
Then there's the Gandalf the White. You know, he's no longer Gandalf the Gray. So on the inside, when you break open Helm's Deep, which is a ravioli, the inside is a white puree of fennel and Calabrian chili, so a little spicy. And then underneath that, you remember when he, finally arrives on the 5th day to the east, and then the sun comes up, blinds the Uruk-hai, and then they change the battle or whatever. So the sun is a confit egg yolk. So as soon as you cut through that, the egg yolk, comes open and you see the sun. And then the last part is the rubble. When the wall explodes, all the pasta trim is turned into like these fried, crispy, like super fun, crunchy element to the dish. And that's mimicked on, of course, the wall like exploding. So all of that being tied together as a dish, it's just really fucking fun, man. Like you get to create endlessly, and we have the trust of people that they don't care what the menu is. You have to pay for your reservation before you get to the restaurant, so you already have to buy in to like a minimum of $500 for 2 people, to come have dinner. And people, stack up reservations and are so pumped to come, not even knowing what the fucking menu is going to be. They have no idea what they're going to eat at the restaurant. So it's really fun to be able to literally do whatever the fuck I want, like with food, and people are like, I am fucking in on it, and they trust us. It's just fucking awesome, man. This was one of the coolest menus that I've ever created. It was just so fun to take something I love so much, like Lord of the Rings, and turn it into a menu.
That's so
dude,
rad, dude.
I mean, that's what it's all about,
Goddamn.
dude, is having fun with creating and
I gotta pee real quick.
and go for it. And
Oh, dude, I was just thinking that.
all right. An instant gratification though from the people that are eating at the restaurant, where you get to
100%
feedback, dude. The feedback giving and what you put into that. And I just love the idea of food as art, and knowing somebody who is a Michelin star restaurant owner. I'm like, I really want to have the time with this guy to like break this open, and this has already been everything that I wanted this to be. So thank you for all the time that we spent so far. But
man, this is so fun. I'm in my wine cellar, high, like real
dude,
high, drinking great wine and talking on a podcast. I mean, like literally, I've got nothing to complain about. This has been so fun,
I'm super baked too. So how do you acquire $1 million wine cellar, dude?
Almost a decade of buying. It's and that's like what the value is at the end of the day, right? That's not like the actual cost of my wine cellar. That's probably a lot lower, but what I could sell it for, right? Like that's like your inventory number. It's like, I'm just going to do this kind of fun. So that's a wine refrigerator. And like just in there is like over $100,000 of white Burgundy. So when you're buying these allocations, every year you have to buy the wine that this domain is saying they're making, or the chateau or whatever. They're like, we only produce this much. If you want some, you have to buy this. And you say yes. And then every year you say yes, and you get more and more and more. Some of those bottles are crazy. So you just keep buying throughout the years. And then, we don't really sell a whole lot of bottles of wine. It's actually a terrible business model. Like full transparency, like having a cellar like this is completely unneeded at a restaurant like ours. But it's just wine. So fucking dope. Oh my gosh. Like I'm sitting here like there's definitely going to be a point tonight where I reach and get some amazing bottle of wine and drink it out of my little paper cup. That's
that's what it's kind of all about too. You're a chef. You're the head honcho there, dude. It's like that you helped acquire and not helped. You probably did most of gathering all of that wine and tasting all of that wine to know you want to bring it back to the restaurant. So it's your collection, dude. You're just opening it up.
It totally is.
You're opening
That's
it up
why, like,
your patrons.
Yeah. I need a Patreon account eventually. It's got to work. I got to make some money doing this. But like Ramon came in and was looking for a bottle of wine, right? Like the thing is, for me too, like I put in the work, you know what I mean? Like I work incredible amount of hours. It's not something that you brag about. It's just something that you do because you fucking love what you do and you're successful at it. So it makes you want to do it more and more. I mean, I think if Dismal Lapse would have seen like some decent success at some point in its time, I might have like put a little bit more effort into like learning how to do things, but I just don't think we were at that level with cooking. We're here. So now you get to have like this whole level of access to doing really cool shit. And wine is like one of those things.
When the Dismal thing dissolved for you, were you already cooking during that, or did you start to go to classes was it a light bulb situation? I've always wanted to do this, or I like to cook and now I want to make it serious. How did that happen?
So I have to ask a very serious question because I feel like I already explained the exact moment and when I chose to be a chef, like when my girlfriend / I just don't want to like say the same story and everyone will like
me being
like,
a fucking dumb host.
Fucking idiot, like.
No. You guys are Anthony and you are both stoned, so like it's actually up to me to figure out if you guys actually did
Joel?
it. I'm drunk, but I mean,
he doesn't like.
How drunk are you? Like really? Are you forgetting what you're talking about? You're not drunk enough. Start drinking.
No. I can. No, I've already had about 7-8% drinks, but yeah, I mean, I don't get drunk. Alcohol doesn't really affect me until like 9 drinks, 10 drinks. Then I'm like 8%.
So now you're hovering around that zone. That's dangerous.
Yeah. So now my memory's fucked, and like I have no idea if you talked about it either. So like, why don't you pretend like you didn't talk about it earlier?
Yeah. So there was an aha moment, Anthony. Like it was legit a moment in time that it just happened. I got home from a fairly long tour. And this was the tour after Defeated Sanity, which I took on so much responsibility for that tour. And I took care of them because I was just like, anything that didn't work out, I just felt like it was my problem. I asked them to come over and do this thing. And I was like, I just want to make sure that no one thinks that they weren't done right, So,
yeah.
And I cooked for them too, which is really funny that you say that, Joel. I don't remember cooking for you guys. I'm sure that was the case. But I remember cooking for Defeated and having him be like, yeah, just putting together something fucking delicious. Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's mostly what we want all the time. Like, there's no concept that I have that I think that like fine dining is a needed thing, right? Like, it's not even like snacks.
Yeah.
We eat snacks all the time. We don't eat fine dining all the time. It's just not how it is. Unless you're a bougie ass bitch like me.
When your local economy is doing good and you're allowed to do fine dining, it's not for like when people are actually like starving everywhere. Like, oh, it's like fine dining. It's like we're done well enough as a society where we're allowed to have fine dining. It's like now we can get the primo shit. We can spend that money. What are you drinking now? You're looking at it. You're looking at it.
Very, very quick. All right. So, whoa, shit, that's bad.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
This is a white Burgundy, which is Chardonnay.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, like, they like Chardonnay. I'm just as fucking snobby and douchey of a chef and sommelier as I was a death metal musician. Like, I had such high, ridiculous, expectations of every band that played, like, you better be this. Otherwise, I'm not listening to you, super elitist, 100%. I've killed the ego since then, but it was strong back then, but yeah, it's a whole different concept nowadays.
Yeah. So what's up with the white Burgundy Chardonnay? You're tying that into
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Merceau, which is a spot down south in Burgundy. I got to be there finally. I've studied Burgundy for a long time. It's my favorite wine. Like, people always have their desert food, which, by the way, quick question, Anthony and Joel, what is your desert food? You have one meal that you get to eat. What is it going to be?
Fuck.
I mean, for me,
And Joel, if you
my
don't say
family-
something about Localis, you're fucking dead to me. All right. So,
It better be one of those 12, dude. It better be one of
it's
those
number 12,
I know.
motherfucker. You ordered it.
I know, bro gets you like super hammered. It's like, dude, you better remember everything that I served you.
No, but seriously though, what is that thing for you guys?
Well, I mean, my family is from Albuquerque, like New Mexico. So I think of high desert when you say that. So I think of
Yep.
this is not gonna. I know you're a shredding chef, and I'm just the fat guy with tits that eats like garbage every now and then.
Hey, I am a fat guy too. Fuck off. Don't exclude me.
But I mean, I always think of the New Mexico Tex-Mex cuisine with their hatch green chili and the red chili.
I
Yeah,
fucking love Hatch chilies, dude. Let me
Yes.
tell you.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
God, I will go into
God,
it.
they're
So-
fucking delicious.
yeah,
So
it's a
good.
slathered. I mean, basically, depending on like, there's a place called Hurricanes out there. It's an old diner, but they put like, it's like an old school huevos rancheros with the hatch green chili, and you always have to ask them every time you go like, how's the chili today? And they're like, it's hot today. It's hot. Or it's like, it's okay.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's mild. They tell you every time you ask. They're like, it changes
different,
day to
man.
day.
For
Yeah,
sure.
So like that is my favorite. Like, some of my favorite food in the world is New Mexico, kind of Tex-Mexy hatch green chili infused sopapillas, or just the shit that like makes you like, when I go there and visit my family, I'll go there and get like, there's a place called Sadie's out there that everyone loves. So I go out there and go to Sadie's. I get the stuffed chicken sopapilla with hatch green chili all over it. And I can't shit for like 3 days after I do. I'm completely constipated.
This is I'm too much in my
like,
head right now because as you're going so deep, I'm thinking, God damn, he's got so much detail on what he wants to eat, and I can't fucking find anything in my head.
He's even
right now.
talking about the shits afterwards right
Because
now. Like,
that's-
damn,
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy's
that's
before
thorough,
and after.
bro.
That was the element that was keeping me from finding out what I would, because I'm like, if it's a deserted island situation, dude, I want to be able to shit right all the time. So I'm like, is it oatmeal or is it like an egg
so
scramble?
We
That's
can't
actually
be
what I
friends,
wanted you-
Anthony. Fucking oatmeal? Seriously, dude? Like, no,
dude.
you're
No, but
dead
I wanted
me,
you
dude.
to.
Alright, so,
I want you
the-
to explain desert meal, like what the parameters of desert meal.
Yeah,
mean,
if I'm not gonna feel like shit and I'm not gonna just get fat all the time, give me some motherfucking pizza, dude. Give me some
Pizza. All right.
No,
I'm
not
ice
even
cream.
pizza.
Every day, all day. I don't give a fuck what
Oh, you said-
flavor. Ice cream.
So are you saying dessert or desert?
Something with,
Desert. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, like if I had to
in the
choose right
desert.
now, one
Oh,
food.
Okay. Jesus.
Oh,
I thought, because
fuck.
you're a
Like,
technical ass chef, I thought you were talking about, like,
islands.
what's your favorite desert meal when you go to the desert when you visit
Now
there?
you're
You don't know the
What's your favorite
cuisine of
meal?
the Qatar? I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude? Like,
I literally thought that's what you meant, dude. I'm not even kidding.
no, definitely not.
Okay.
I just
I'm
mean,
okay.
like,
So,
like
a
that
pasta
thing. If
dish.
you
stuck on an
got to
island.
choose the
Yeah,
one.
it'll be a
Yeah,
pasta
yeah, I
dish,
get it now.
whatever. Give me like some
Pasta, okay.
seafood pasta, dude.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
So
I'm gonna send you
re-answer the-
so many fucking sexy pictures of pasta when I'm in Italy and just make you so mad at me.
Oh,
Oh, I'm just gonna make you
No,
so
dude, 'cause
mad.
I'm not gonna make. It's not gonna be mad because I think when you get
We'll
back,
start a
I
group chat.
want to experience that, dude. I think I want.
Okay, you got to come in. So I'll say it publicly, like both of you. You bring back. It's Liz, right? Your girl, Joel.
Osa.
Osa. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Osa. She's watching. She's like, "Fuck you, chef.
Girl, it's
Never come
Frank,
into the
right?
restaurant
It's
again."
Frank, right?
Damn, yeah, it is. It's Frank. I can be Frank. But then you guys need to bring in. Maybe we can get you on the same counter, like at the same time or whatever.
Oh, sick.
But you guys need to come experience again and just let it be a gift. You know, like don't worry about all the silly stuff. Like as a culture, can I please say, like, hot take? We need to start getting comfortable accepting gifts. When someone wants to give you something, they're doing it because they have a reason. They're not just like throwing it out there because they hope that you look at them the same way back or something. But people are so fucking uncomfortable with gifts. Like it's
I am
miserable.
I am
Like
100%.
I
Yeah, I'm
I
100%.
don't like that, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
take a fucking gift. Like when people give me things nowadays, I'm like, thank you so much. That's so fucking
Well, I
kind
do
of you.
that.
You know, like
I mean, no, I have that feeling of thank you so much. It's so fucking kind of you. But at the same time, like, I feel there's not a
don't put me in a position where I have to like
no, like
back
a
and forth.
reciprocation. It's like it's
Yeah.
like they thought of me and I didn't think of them. Like it makes me feel like awkward because I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I want to give you something. Like, what do you want? Like Venmo or I have no like when someone gives you when someone gives you a gift. Like I feel like I'm not putting in enough to like compensate.
Well,
for,
I
like,
think he wants us to.
I've been
accept
married
his
20
gift
years.
right
I want a
now, though,
blowjob,
dude.
Joel.
all right, brother.
My wife's probably watching right now, so that's probably like not a good thing, but for sure,
No,
like
it's all good.
It'll be a good thing tonight.
for
But
sure.
Okay. Well, then we should accept his gift, dude. Let's do a
I
double
will
date.
accept that gift.
Yeah,
I will accept
come
that
up,
gift.
man,
Yeah,
and do it on
1000%.
So August is Southern Italy and September is Northern Italy. So
Okay.
we're breaking that up into two things, which by the way, like the life I get to live, I totally get that it's, incredible. But at the same time, like it's work, right? Like when you look at what I spend on a trip to what we make on a menu based from that trip, a marketing expense would be way bigger, so part of the reason I think I've been successful as a chef too is because I love the numbers, and most chefs just are like, I'm intensely passionate, obviously very creative, all the things, but artists traditionally are really bad at making money. So it's really cool to be able to have like a successful, that's like getting in a band, getting signed to a great label, getting a huge sign-on bonus, setting yourself up to where when you're not on tour, you're at home with your kids. Like that's the dream, right? Like you get to be that. So I'm always super thankful for what we have and what this, because Jessica built this with me. It wasn't like I was just all this creative everything. Like she does all of the backside of the business of the work.
Post blowjob joke. He's doing this part of it.
He's backpedaling, dude. He's backpedaling.
Backpedaling.
So something I can tell you about my wife and I, dude. There is no way I'd ever be worried about what I said. That woman, like, no, dude,
that's right.
like
That's
straight up. She is the realest of reals.
You were
like,
actually name dropping her just to make sure that she did pay attention to the joke because you did want to
exactly right. I'm like, did you hear me, bitch? I'm just kidding, baby. I'm just kidding. I've never called you that. Wow. How long have you been married, Anthony?
We're partying, dude.
How long have you been married, Anthony?
Oh shit! Me and Bryce we'll be together 19 years this year, dude. This October.
What
dude.
the fuck? I remember we first met.
Dude, it's crazy.
And Joel hasn't even started counting yet, man. Like you're way behind, bro.
I'm starting counting in late August of this year. I'm gonna start counting.
Bryce and
I could be with you guys and be like, dude, whatever, dude. I'm fucking part of the crew, dog. Like,
yeah, I just turned 21 after we started dating, like a few months after we started dating, and I'm turning 40 this year, dude.
Ridiculous, dude.
I know,
dude. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, dude.
Is it getting better?
It's awesome, dude. I love it, dude. It's crazy
dude.
how like 3 kids and getting like acclimated to how that all works, and then checking in on each other after it's you good, and then you get to spend more time once the kids get older. They get to doing their own thing on them, and you're like, oh wait, we got some time to hang out. Like,
stop cock blocking so much. Fucking kids, man. They are the worst cock blockers, dude. Straight up.
It's so funny. He stepped right over the thing that I was going to say. So, like, what are you interested in right now? that would be my next thing. He's just like, oh, dude.
Holy
but
shit.
yeah, that's what it
I'm
is
like ready to
dude.
cut Willow off the titty. I'm like, I need those things back, dude. Like, I'm sorry. You've had them for 20 months. You're done. Like they're mine. Like I've shared them enough with you.
I know. It's funny. It's like the children children set up like a moat around your wife post pregnant. Post birth. Then you're just like.
So how do you guys deal with that when that happens? What do you guys just go and just rub one off like a champion in the bathroom, or
you just hashtag beat it out, dude? Hashtag beat it out.
Yeah,
or
okay.
just like for me, like legit, I just started
Punch holes in
accepting the
walls.
fact that when our kids are like, I'm team mom. I'm like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
fucking right. I'm team mom too. So fuck you. Like I was original team mom, like I've been loving mom since before you motherfuckers were born, So that's like, I just turn it on them, because I'm always mom. I'm always team mom. Like, of course,
Yeah,
Anthony, is there any way that you wouldn't give up yourself for your wife, like in a heartbeat?
You mean step in front of like a
Whatever.
train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get
question, dude.
graphic and talk about specifics, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to do like
No, I
an
always think about it,
overarching
like,
theme.
I'm like, I always have these situations in my head where I'm like, yeah, they'd be better off left with her, maybe. But
What is wrong with us? That's what the world is. Yeah, the world is wrong because that. Like, what?
no,
dude, men's brains. We get to crawl over and think about like every scenario that can happen, especially.
I'm constantly defending my family and sacrificing myself for my family.
100%.
That's behind everything else. And then if you get rid of everything that you're thinking about, then all of a sudden that just comes like, oh, dude, what are you gonna do if all of a sudden your car goes off a cliff, dude? Or how are you gonna get them out of the water when you hit the water? Like that just all of a sudden just flips in there, dude. Because we are here to protect them so crazily that it's like, it's most of the time I'll never have to do anything because everything's fine. But our brain's like, wait, everything's fine, dude. But what about volcanoes and shit, dude? Like they erupt.
What about volcanoes? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm fucking talking about. Like,
like if a volcano could just randomly erupt, like random things can happen to your family, dude. What are you gonna do right now?
I mean, it's good. I think it's a healthy thing to think about, though. Like like we live in a especially down here, like in more of an earthquake-ridden zone. Like or like a natural 9.0 could hit here. Like, what are you gonna do when that happens? Like, where are you gonna be? What's gonna happen?
It's my turn,
What's your first move?
I got to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
All right, do it. All right,
what happens when the guy that's supposed to be being interviewed leaves?
Me and Joel just
no.
ramble at each other.
It happens every time.
Okay,
you're good, dude.
But no, like what? So like the fucking. Like, I mean, you think about like, especially like seeing if you watch the news and see like all the yeah,
dude, that was a loud door.
If you think about everything, every possible scenario. I mean, I'm a chronic overthinker, so I'm like constantly like, even just like benign situations. I'm constantly like, what if I say this? Oh, hold on.
Oh shit,
that sounds sick.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man. But that was sick. Actually, that was a cool little intro. But no, I mean, just even benign situations. I'm kind of like, what if this? What if that? I like try to think because I mean, actually, it came from. I was just actually talking about it with my fiance's brother-in-law the other day. Like we had a jazz teacher that would be like so brutal on you if you missed a question that he would pick on you. If you missed a question, then he was going to pick on you for the next 6 questions, and then the next day he's going to pick on you for the next 10. So like, if you missed a question, so I ended up getting all paranoid and being like, every scenario of every question he can ask me about these problems, I would have written in this chart below because I did not want to be embarrassed like that again. And like, best teacher move ever. Like, I've never done so much work to like learn everything. It was jazz composition. But I remember like he's a world famous dude too. So I was like, all right, well,
it's like your own whiplash situation, only
totally
it wasn't
100%.
as crazy as that.
But I think that's where the overthinking started, kind of just like, all right, what if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Like it like kind of started being
but
like, what if?
I guess that's always there. But yeah, there's like this other level that happens when you become a dad and you're like, you just feel
so bad for me. I mean,
you're
in a good way.
No, dude, it's not going to be bad.
I mean, it was like the overthinking. No, not
different.
bad. No, I didn't mean in a bad way. I just meant like more aggressive with the overthinking of protecting them.
But I think that it kind of still will compartmentalize. Like, I think a certain amount of things that you stress on, you stop stressing on because you realize they're not important and you got other more important things to stress on.
Well, I think that's what's really cool about like just seeing like how what cracks me up about, not cracks me up, it's very impressive about fucking Chris. I almost said your name backwards. I was like, damn, Barnum Chris was even though he's fucking frozen right now. Let's check him out.
No, he's not. Oh, is he? He is, but he did that.
But
it
no,
comes
just
back.
Trying to get
like,
my
no, as far
earbuds
as
hooked
you're
up
back.
again.
Oh, you're good. But like, as far as like, I kind of really respect your mindset of just like, I was elitist, but now I'm just fucking honest, and I don't give like it's just how I look at
But
everything
not brutally
logically.
honest.
Yeah, not like to hurt someone, but just like to give
Yeah,
them the
dude.
information they need. Give people the information they need now, whether it's might not be what they want to hear, but it's just like, this is what's going on. This is the logic of the situation.
Without getting like too Tony Robbins about it, I legit, honesty with grace is like this incredible thing where you unlock the potential with certain people to be so honest with them that they know everything about you. They know who you are as a person. And then when you get that same respect back and you really build that trust with someone, that's kind of like what I live my life for nowadays. I just want real people around me. I'm just tired of everything else. Like, I've always been a big personality. I always will be a big personality. Couple that with paranoia and constant thinking that, you've said something stupid or done something stupid or whatever it is. You get to a certain point in my life, at least now, where I'm just like, I just want to be happy. And if you want to like get together and squash whatever we had, or if you say whatever you have, but if you don't have anything, like, don't have anything, right? Like, just be that. Just be like legit. And that shit just doesn't happen. And it's hard. I mean, Anthony, 19 years. Can I just say, like, without being all fatherly about it, like, super proud that you guys made it that long. I mean, that's, how fucking hard that is, dude. Like,
It's
Justin
tough,
and I,
dude.
like,
There's dips and
recently
valleys for
through,
sure.
like, whew, heavy stuff. Look
Dude,
at that
what?
shit.
Wait, put that up again. Is that the shirt that I'm wearing right now? It is, dude. I just found
How
it.
old
How
are you
long
in that
ago
right
was that?
there?
That was recording Servile right there, I think.
So that
Pretty
was
sure.
2006,
7.
Jesus.
Because I think Servile came out in 08, maybe.
Great
Was that
album, by
long
the
ago?
way.
Right
So
on. Maybe
fucking,
It's
so
maybe-
amazing.
insane.
I don't know, dude. When did Cryptic come out? Cryptic was 07, and then Servile was the year later.
10.
I'm pretty sure. And maybe that came out back then. It wasn't like a full year turnaround after you turn it in. So I probably did it early 08, maybe, because I don't know when it rose.
The 14 years you've had that? At least 14 years. Into the Moment, remember when
this was in
Animosity
the
went on tour with
same
them?
pile as that Blood Red Throne hoodie that I was showing last week, dude. It was
Great band.
yeah,
Oh, fuck
dude.
yeah.
So I got this.
Love that band.
Into the Moat come up and the Blood Red Throne come up all in the same day. I was so stoked, dude, because we all lose our shit or think we lost our shit. And every now and then a band teal pop up and you're like, yes, dude, there it is. I miss
Totally.
my Cynic hoodie. There was this Trace and Air Cynic hoodie zip up but it was Trace and Air the whole thing on the front. And I think it said Cynic on the top or something was on the side of it back when it was still cool to have print on the hoodies. Nobody actually has. I have a reflex with the print on the side of a hood. I always thought that was a cool thing, but I don't think bands do that anymore.
Our guitar player for his band,
Ominous.
Ominous Ruin, does that on the side. That's cool. Always been the coolest one I ever saw was, and I never wanted to wear it because I never thought I was cool enough to wear it. Was the Animosity one that was like a gold foil on the side?
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm not cool enough for that, but if I was, I would
own
wear
it.
that. Yeah, but actually, so going back to merch, and I talked about this, I think pre-pod, but the Dismal Lapse, I think you gave me that shirt when we went and visited the dungeon. And everything. We and I wore that shirt like every day, almost like on multiple tours. I just want to be like, I wanted people to be like, who's Dismal Lapse? Like, what's going on? And they did a lot. And I was like, fucking Sacramento, blah, blah. Like, I love like giving bands that were kind of like doing it, like fucking, like you had the venue, you had all these things going, and there's like bands like Ontogeny that were like just crushing, but like never got to that echelon of like signed and constantly touring or whatever. But I like thought they deserved it more than anyone. I fucking missed that shirt, dog. I don't know where that question was going, but I'm just gonna say that.
Well, I'll get you a little Callus t-shirt now because that's my band
dude.
now.
I would rep it, dude.
Locales?
I would rep it.
Locali is, yeah.
You
Locali.
motherfucker. Dude, I'd rep that shit on stage, dude. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
I'd
wear
fucking
it.
totally rep that.
Maybe
shit.
I'll wear it at Texas Domination Fest, dude. If you give me a Locales shirt, dude.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be
what's
sick.
up with that, Anthony? You guys doing shows?
Yeah, well, it's just one now, but I don't know. There might be some warm-up shows. I don't know what the guys are about yet. Everybody's kind of probably mentally now coming to terms with the fact that we actually have to get ready for a fucking show that's in a few months.
Yeah.
And so everybody's just kind of probably centering themselves, and then we'll come together and make a plan. But it'd be cool to have like a couple warm-up shows in Cali.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure
Let's
Cali's
do a show at the
waiting for it.
dungeon. Fucking Auburn.
Dude. That would
No
be-
fucking way, by the way.
No fucking way, by the way.
Yeah, you'd have you've given it too close to where it's at, dude. You said the city
Yeah.
that it's in.
Not possible. That's I love the last album. I don't know, man. I don't know. Joel, I've seen you kind of go toe to toe with people about like just music, because it's very funny how like definitive certain people are, you know, just like ready to do battle about like what is good and what's not, you know. Like as a metalhead,
Totally.
I can't fucking stand Slayer, dude. Like, to be honest with you, like I've never liked their music. I never thought they were good.
Yeah.
Diabolus and Musica was my favorite album, which is everyone's worst album. They're like, I hate that album so much. I'm like, at least they had some groove and some like, you know, something going on other than just like fucking boring thrash metal. Like,
Well, that
I was
them
always
taking
so
the
fucking
Slipknot.
opinionated.
That was them taking the Slipknot kind of route where they were
Yeah.
kind of like incorporating more drop tuning and but there is some really cool. There's 2 or 3 songs I actually threw on a couple months ago that I was like, fuck, I like the song. I mean, I brought that to my guitar teacher and he taught me a couple of those songs, you know. That was a very influential album for me. But the thing is, like, I've always come in for those kind of bands like Metallica, Slayer. I've always come in kind of late. Like, I always like Metallica. I got into them way after the Black Album. My brother gave me a tape of the Black Album, and I got into that first, and then reverse engineered, and then went back to Master Puppets and all those, you know, Red Lighting and all those. But like, as for me, like, I mean, Slayer was an up and for me, like getting in from like, you know, Korn and doing all the, you know, the new metal stuff, and then it was like Sepultura, then it was Pantera, then it was Slayer. So it was like kind of like it was a ladder stepping up, and so I mean, for Slayer, like, I mean, there's so, I mean, one thing I can always complain about Slayer, the one diss that I could say would diss, they've already made it, was just their solos and stuff. Their solos were just like, they didn't make any sense. They were totally garbage. They were just like,
Oh, Kerry King is so fucking bad, dude. Like, so bad. I like the Beastie Boys, and he ruined that fucking song for me because his solo was so shit, dude. It was terrible.
It's just no theory involved.
I
He doesn't
forgot he
understand
did
the
the
key he's
Beastie
in.
Boys solo.
Yeah, he doesn't understand any of the stuff. He's just going like fast around the area where the chords are, like an octave up. He's like, yeah. He didn't really like.
You didn't realize what kind of like solo guy he was until you see all those YouTube videos of dudes who can like noodle around and kind of make it sound like it's
there's videos of people going like, if Slayer knew like theory and shit, and like it's just like they make the solos like so sick, and I'm like, fuck, dude. That's like one thing that, you know, I wasn't a big Megadeth guy, but Marty Friedman, his solos were one of the fucking best solos ever, like soloists ever. Like,
What
I mean,
band aged better, Metallica or Megadeth?
I mean,
a million times Megadeth. I mean, if you're looking at today's current releases, there's no fucking question.
It's not even close. Yeah.
They're destroying them, you know, like.
Yeah. I'd say, I feel like Metallica just feels like they just need to put out an album again. And they just like sit in a studio for a couple weeks and write an album, and they're like, all right, we're done. Like that's how it feels to me with like the jamming aspect of it. It feels like it's like, all right, let's do kind of like a thrashy part. Okay, like it just seems so not thought about. It seems like, compared to like, the song Master of Puppets, the journey it takes you on, and
Yeah.
and all these songs that like they actually like thought about it and put a lot of work into it. Now it just seems like let's just get this out. It's like same with Slayer was like towards their last few albums
Ooh.
that they produced were just like every song was just like it's all like every song that's like every song I've ever heard. It seems like AI was writing it almost like this, like it didn't even have any feeling to it. Just felt like when bands are hungry, you can tell, and that's why a lot of people like a lot of the old shit more. They're like, they had that hunger, and then like when they get success, they're kind of like, fuck, we got to put out another album, and that's when those albums come out. Those albums, it's like they're not like inspired anymore. They're like, all right, money, we got to put another album. Fuck, we got to go tour again. Fuck it, let's fucking put this album together. Let's jam. We don't like each other that much. Let's jam for a little while
Whatever.
and see what happens. Yeah, it's just a whatever kind of thing where it used to be like crafting every riff, like crafting every part to go into another part, up or down, and yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, Slayer's huge. I can't. That's what we'll differ on that. Slayer's like Slayer is like up until I mean I like Diabol so or Diablos, whatever the fuck you want to call it, or Locales,
Whatever the fuck it is, yeah.
like it's like tomato. But
There's
as far
enough
as
in Slayer that
Localis,
most metalheads-
localis. You know what I mean? It's like whatever.
Locales. I was like, what did he call it again? Fuck, Locales. Like overthinking it, but no. As far as Slayer's concerned, like I went on actually a binge of Slayer about a month ago when I was moving from this the last place to this place, and I had the opposite reaction. I was like, this band is ridiculous. Like, I mean, because I felt their anger. I felt like what they were putting out. I felt
Yeah.
I believed them. Like I don't believe like watch them become a god. I don't believe that versus like fucking like kill. We're like fucking Tom Segura. Tom Araya is
Tom Segura, Tom Araya, same, no big deal.
yeah.
That would be
Tom's-
so funny
those
to
Tom.
see him come out with Slayer.
But just like watching on that live intrusion video of him doing At Dawn They Sleep, that's like that gives me the chills still. I can't like I'll like get like it's the teary-eyed excited thing. I'll get the like this is so sick. I won't be like, Depeche Mode, which I love Depeche Mode, but I won't do that kind of this is so sick. I'll do like, oh, this is so sick, testosterone sick,
Mhm.
But
Like
but
not
where were you
ugly
going with
face
that?
crying.
Because you were going with where were you
Almost.
going? So you said so Slayer, was that the thing you wanted to say was a Slayer just bugs you? You never been into him?
It's not. I mean, yeah. I just. I think I've always had a pretty serious opinion, even when I was.
Yeah.
Because like everything changed for me at 37. Like you guys are both past that point in your life now. But for me, like that was a definitive change in everything, the way that I was, the way that I wanted to be, how I wanted to be seen. Like my entire identity changed at that time. And since then it's been very different, but it's definitely been really exciting to be able to live in that space where you're comfortable with all of the things, that we've talked about tonight, because you just understand where you're at in life. You know what I mean? And you understand that every person, you just want to see the best for them. Like, I don't understand the culture that we live in
100%.
nowadays where we just want to destroy people. Like everyone just wants to destroy people. There's no hope that they're a better person. You don't want to say like, oh man, I hope that person that did this terrible thing understands why they did that, can deal with it and move on and pass that. Like we don't want that out of people. We want the literal worst out of people.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking death metal, right?
Do you think
It kind of
right?
is, dude. It's crabs in a
where does
pot,
that-
dude.
Yeah, where do you think that comes from? Like, is it our attention span that like we're like, all right, boring, you're doing well, fuck off. We need the scroll. Or
It's
what do
what
you
I
think
just said, dude. It's crabs in a pot. As soon as you see a crab higher than you start grabbing at their legs to pull them down to see if you can get
But it's
past them.
social media that brings you into this like ranking system where you're kind of like 1 through 10. And actually, I have a ranking question for Chris that I was thinking of earlier. But like as far as like, but do you think that social media kind of brings that where people are comparing each other to other people constantly? Because that's what subconsciously like I go to fucking Anthony's Instagram. I'm like, dude, I need to get more coins, dude.
What up, dude?
No, but no, that's why I love Anthony's Instagram. If you ever post a real picture on there, I'll fucking punch you, like maybe in the
I
face.
kind of don't want to now. It's been too long, dude.
He just has like a couple like rare coins. Like, has his pictures on
That's
there.
it.
Yeah, that's it. And he just kept it like
Isn't
that.
it
Like,
weird how dogmatic we get about certain shit?
Yeah.
totally, no, 100%,
I
1,000%.
always joke about this. I'm sure I said it recently, but it's funny because whoever, you know, might be interested enough to go find us personally on Instagram, they go to my @ and then they click on it and they're like, is this the guy?
Is this him?
Is this him? And they gotta
Is this the
read
coin
my-
collector,
and
Anthony Cervani? Or is this
At some point it
definitely-
says podcaster and it says Cali Death Podcast. They tag him every week. It's gotta be him.
But this
There's
is
a
like,
pirate coin.
yeah.
I'm just never been like the super social media guy. I'm kind of a voyeur, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm a voyeur when I look at how you have gone on your journey from being, you know, from being a metal musician to being in a, you know, the culinary occupation. I've watched it, but just watching it, I'm just that's what's weird about social media is I get be a guy who's like, what's up with that guy, you know? Oh, he's got a new video, okay. But we've been friends since before the social media because of shows, and I've been able to watch you start that restaurant, so we've been friends on social media forever, kind of just like checking in on, hey, that's that dude that's from that band, how's he doing, type thing.
Totally.
You know,
It's a weird
Yeah.
age to be in, right? Because I think about it, I was at the very end of like tape trading. You know, maybe it was CD trading, but it was
Mhm.
still like hard copy for hard
Yeah.
copy. You know, it was
Yeah.
still like trying to find other bands based on, you
I
know,
love
music that
making
you
mixes
hear
for the
or like,
homies.
oh my gosh, man. Like it was such a cool time. And that's why like I can't ever associate with a certain generation because I don't feel very comfortable. Like I grew up with no technology, you know, in a sense, and then grew into ultimate technology, like which is just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
Mhm.
But I still don't understand, like, because I remember when MySpace launched and I booked a whole fucking tour off MySpace and I was like, holy shit, like this is fucking crazy. And the
Yeah.
power of the top 8, I mean, to just control
yeah.
somebody's fucking like their entire life. You were like, I'm gonna take you out of my top 8, you know, like holy shit.
And to judge people on their top 8, be like, all right, what's his top 8? All right, he's got that band.
Yeah,
in
but
there?
how sick was
guy
it been like,
sucks.
dude, Odious is in the top 8 of blah 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 blah, dude. What up, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we
You
got
know?
some top 8s that we like. I wish
Dude.
MySpace was still a thing so I could like talk about it confidently, because I'm like, because back then, like, we were like, I mean, Job for a Cowboy exploded on there. Like that was like, they were like the
Oh
biggest
my
band
gosh,
on MySpace,
dude.
and we were on their top 8. They were like,
We were on their
you know,
top
Odious
8,
Mortem,
dude.
and I was like, what?
I
And
know.
like Alex
That-
Webster and Cannibal and stuff was just like, oh
That's
shit,
a
we
new-
made, dude. Like, when's the money coming? Like, we made it, dude. Where's the paycheck?
It's not even that. It's not even that. But it fills up the gas tank of we need to fucking keep going.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
It's like, all right,
1000%.
dude, our tank of creativity gas has been filled, or you know, whatever's
Yeah.
going to get us to keep going as a band has been extended another 4 weeks because now we have this high of holy shit, this band is down with
We have
us.
the what if. We have a what if kind of thing going. Like, what if we get this big? Or like, what, you know, like we could do this too, because we're on. This band is humongous, and they're saying that we're like they're number 3 in top 8. Only number 3 though. So I mean, I don't know if we're
I
really
remember
You're
you
third
know.
best, bitch.
I'm now
100%.
remembering benefiting from that top 8 and hanging out with those guys at Slim's when they came through, and
Yeah.
being able to-
Slims was awesome.
yeah, dude, I loved Slims, dude. See, that's the thing. So you guys used to come down. Did you guys get a few of you guys together and head to the Frisco shows and stuff?
Oh, dude, I remember getting pulled over in my fucking girlfriend's Jetta flying down the freeway, like headbanging on our way to the pound to see Pyrexia.
Sick.
God, who else was on that? I mean, I don't know. Just those nights of like traveling down there and then fucking having to drive back to Sacramento or fucking Auburn. I mean, it's not Sac, it's Auburn. Let's be real.
It's way past.
It's
Yeah.
an extra 40 minutes, you know, like I remember just driving back and wanting to fucking die because I was so tired, but just being so stoked seeing all these amazing fucking bands play. Seeing Spawn of Possession play Cabinet, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And one thing that I tell people all the time with chef, being a chef, I don't follow other chefs. I don't follow trends. I believe that creativity is only true when you're just like doing what you want to do and just not having a fucking care about what a trend is or what people are doing right now or ingredients that are hot right now. And I stay really focused on that. And I feel like it's the same kind of thing with death metal. Like, I don't know. I was going to ask you earlier, but I forgot because I'm fucking blazed and I'm going to keep smoking. Do you guys get pickier and pickier with death metal as you get older?
No, I don't.
No.
I mean, I get no. I do though. No, I do. Actually, opposite. I get
more fucking face, dude. Seriously,
well, I mean,
come on.
So if there's something that's gonna blow my mind, yes, then I'm super picky about the requirements that are needed to check those boxes. I'm way more picky. But for a sick death metal album, I'm just like, that's sick. But I don't like. I'm not like nowadays. Like I kind of know. I listen to more prog metal and like more like weirder stuff nowadays, like on the constant than I do death metal. But when a new death metal album comes out, that I need, like a band has been, you know, like hyped to drop a death metal album, when I listen to it, and my parameters behind it are, I mean, those bands automatically get like kind of a pass because of my previous what I've known about them and what's already in my head about them. But when I'm getting shown a death metal band for the first time, I do feel like, honestly, I'm looking for things to pick at and to be like, that kind of, that's lame. I don't like that part. Like rather than like that riff is sick, or like I go into like elitist old Joel like kid mode and I start like
expectations destroy happiness.
Total 100%. And like, especially with the recording techniques nowadays, I'm like, that's not doable. I don't believe you. Like I'll think that, like a lot of these bands, I'm like, all right, well, your double bass is going like 350 for like 10 or 20 seconds. I don't believe that you did that perfectly.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that I pick out, and nowadays it's more production. Even like if the production's sick or a tone is sick, I'll be like, all right, I'm in. I'll listen to it. Like I'm getting that kind of like old man ear where I'm like, I just need that like really good production or really good guitar tone is the number one thing I'm looking for. So I'm like, if you can make it sound like I don't know, like an old fucking tube amp that from the era that I want it to be from, or just something like that. And it's not like this is all in my head breaking it down. I will say, I will admit, any style of music you show me, I'll try to find talent in any style of music you show me. I won't try to shit on it. With death metal, I kind of get a little shaky with the elitism. I get a little like trying to break things down, really dumb things down that I don't think, a normal person would be listening for at all. And I don't know if it's defensiveness of like, this has been done before. Like, why are they doing this again? Because there's only so many things you can do in death metal that breaks ground nowadays. It's like, you're just riffing. Are you sweeping a bunch, or what are you doing? Like, are you? And so
my one regret, I was just going to add to that real quick. My one regret for how we, that elitism that we were talking about, how that was much more prominent in our early 20s. One thing I regret about that is it's kind of scarred my way of looking at
100%.
death metal to where I can't just sit in it. I'm immediately thinking, what band that I know in my arsenal does that riff sound like right now? That's my thing. So it kind of doesn't let me fully sit in just sitting with the song. I'm too busy trying to flip through my files of, see, it's the Morbid Angel riff on fucking XYZ album because they
Blessed Are the Sick. Love that fucking album.
Yeah.
Dan Kenny will send me a riff and be like, "What album do you think this sounds like?" And I'll be like, "Fuck," and I'll like start like nerding out like super hard. Like I care so much. Like I'm
Yeah.
like in the middle of something else. He's like, this riff sounds like what riff do you or what album do you think this riff came from? And I'm like, I have my I have my fucking finger on it, but I can't put it together. And I'm like, oh dude, I'm in. I would go deep into like what's
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
a
it's
waste-
fucking Arsebreed. Fucking, like I'll find like a random band and just be like, it's this. And he's like, no, I already thought that, but because Dan's like a total
nerd.
nerd.
But
Yeah,
we're
'cause
all
he's like-
nerds. This is all
we're all
nerd
just-
shit that we're talking about.
Dude.
Right now.
yeah.
The menu for the Middle Earth menu sold out so fast for the whole 5 weeks because fucking nerds unite, dude. Like, and we've had people in here. They're like this super fucking. This motherfucker came in. Actually, I give 0 fucks if I say something that offends anybody right now. Like, we had a guy come in to the restaurant with his family, and he comes in all the time with another guy that they just love dining, and they do the time and place pairing. They're great guests. He comes in with his family, and in their notes it says the son did a thesis on J.R.R. Tolkien. So I'm like, holy shit, how cool is that? This person is gonna fucking know all the stuff about Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And they get in, and she now is transitioning. There's a beard, there is chest hair, but there's also breasts. But nonetheless, there's also a gentleman next to her that is obviously, being seen as a man. And so it says in the notes, son is did a thesis on J.R.R. Tolkien. So of course I go to the son, respecting the pronoun, and I'm like, hey, I heard you're really into J.R.R. Tolkien. And then I was like, actually, that's me. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, I even did the right thing and still, can get fucking shit for this. Like, how is this even possible, And I don't even know where I was going with this story now.
It's a form of elitism. Right?
Yeah, it was just
it's like you don't even know, dude. You don't even know about Cannibal Corpse's like 5th song on their 4th album, dude. That was like,
no, it's not even that, dude. I mean,
it feels like to me it feels a little bit like elitism. Like it's like you don't know. Like, well, that's sometimes.
That's what the whole thing was. Nerds. I mean, they showed up for this menu. Oh my gosh, dude. Sold out every single night, like in hours, because people were like, Lord of the Rings, we are fucking in on this, Like,
yeah.
That's fucking cool. You know what I mean? I played Magic since I was 1992. That was the year I started, was the year that Magic started. Like,
damn.
Nerd forever.
Did anybody come in like Lord of the Rings garb? Like,
true story.
Shit? Yeah.
The very first 2 guests, literally Wednesday, we launched the menu, Lord of the Rings. The very 2 first guests, Frodo Baggins and Gandalf the Grey in full on fucking costume, bro.
All right.
We knew we had fucking completed the task at that point. Like, we had done it, like
dude.
There has been so much cosplay this month. Like, it's nuts how many people came and were just like so into the theme. And so many new guests that would never come to a fine dining restaurant, but because we did like a Lord of the Rings menu, they fucking showed up, and now they're hooked, and now they want to come back. Like, it's just so fucking so cool.
Oh yeah, rad, dude. It sounds like you're having fun. You're being creative. It's everything an artist would want to have. With that instant gratification of here's a because you're recreating a piece of art each time you serve it to one person. That's another thing too that's different. Imagine being in the studio as a band and having to re-record a song for a specific person and re-record it again for the next person and re-record it
for each table. Like, you have to re-record it for each table every night. You're like, fuck, dude.
This is my version of fucking Thorns of Blood, Thrones of Blood, excuse me.
Thorns of Blood.
Thorns of Blood. That's what's just probably a fucking death metal song somewhere in the world, dude.
That's probably a band too. But no, that's crazy, man. That takes a lot of just balls to, like, especially because you have a crew that you have. So that's actually a question I wanted to know. With your crew is so pro, like, where do you acquire people like this? Like, you yourself are so an insane chef. I know you can't.
And-
You don't have the manpower to make 19 meals 12 times in a row at night. For your guests and stuff.
And to
Where do
have
you
the Michelin star, you need to have somebody
Yeah.
who's going to come
So you have to
and
set standards. You have to
you
be
know.
like, all right, this has to be passable. Like, how do you find these people? And how do with training?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So we got to go Tony Robbins again, but like this is just who I am as a person. Like, kill the fucking ego, number one. Like,
Yeah.
destroy that shit. Literally, fucking smash it and burn its innards and whatever's left. Like, burn it down to the ground.
Yeah.
And just get really comfortable living and dying by the sword of honesty, right? Like, you don't just get to swing that motherfucker around and tell everyone else what you think all the time, exactly how you think and your opinion and blah, 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 if you're not ready to take that same sword in the throat like multiple times a day, right?
Mhm.
So you get more and more in tune to that understanding of like, don't be fucking soft. Be strong, which means you can always fucking bend and meld yourself to whatever is happening.
You can
You can
handle
always look at
criticism.
of what you have to handle criticism.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want friends that don't criticize me. Like, I don't.
Totally.
You know how many compliments we get here every single night about like, this is the most amazing meal I've ever been to. I've never been to a restaurant like this. This is the best restaurant in the entire world. The normal person goes like, fuck yeah, I'm absolutely murdering it. Like, fuck the world, I'm out. I think, like, what's your reference point? Like, what have you been to outside of our restaurant? Because if you've been to these, 10 amazing world tier restaurants, like, okay, then your opinion is pretty valid. And I appreciate that. And thank you so much. But if your, meal before us was, BJ's and you had a super banging fucking deep dish pie there, like, no offense, like, that's good, right? I'm not calling shit on it, but that's a pretty low fucking register for what you think is amazing. So to
Yeah.
get that humble with yourself, like, that's how you build a crew of people that fucking genuinely think that you're out for their best interest. Like, every person in that restaurant tonight, like, we go through the fucking shits. There is times in this restaurant that are so fucking hard, man, and like things that keep happening over and over again. And you're not talking about like small costs, like in a band, you get a guitar stolen, it's like, $800 or $2,000, like my pasta machine is a $6,500 piece of machinery, and if it goes down, I literally have to, fix it, buy a new one, whatever else. Like, the stakes are so high. So you just want to work with people that, care about what they're doing. I just want people that are so interested in themselves, like, to be better at what they are as a human being across the board. Cook, father, son, mother, whatever you are to people, be better at that than you are right now. Always push yourself to be better.
So
I don't crack
I got
whips.
a question though. A good question. So I mean, like, so with that, like if the pasta machine goes down, something goes down, you're putting yourself, for the it's a high class cuisine place. People are spending like money to come here.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting yourself in this like pressure cooker kind of a little bit. And as like I had to last night, I had to put together a big conference for our CEO at Coconut Grove and Santa Cruz, which was like hundreds of people for all the shareholders of the company, making sure everything's good. And I was like, I hated it. I don't like that at all. Like, to make sure if a mic goes out, or because it's happened before at shareholders meetings, we're like, these are the people that are investing in the company, and I've had things go wrong that are just like out of my control, like insane. And people are like, even the shareholders are bummed on it when it happens. It's happened a couple years ago. Just like everything goes out. So, but you on purpose put yourself like, we're the shit, and this is like pressure, dude. If something goes wrong, I mean, as far as like, where do you put that mindset? Do you just keep it positive, but when something does go wrong, like let's say something terrible goes wrong in the middle of like there's people fucking waiting for you.
Busy night,
like 100%.
So and you set the standard, such high standard. When something does go wrong, like, where does your mind go? Like, what do you do?
All right. Answer to your question is, we're gonna do the best that we can do, and we're not fucking saving your life. We're not saving a child from fucking pool or, you know,
Yeah.
surgically, you know, taking out a fucking tumor. Like you're
Yeah.
eating fucking
There's
food
no
at a
risk.
restaurant.
There's no
If you don't
risk.
like it, you can go to In-N-Out and have a hamburger afterwards. Like the fucking risk is so low. Like get the fuck over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that risk is so low, dude. I'm not interested
Yeah.
in talking to someone if that's like a big fucking deal. You know what I
Have you
mean?
ever-
Like
Yeah.
What's your
we make food.
What's your number one Karen experience, dude? Is anybody
Oh,
Karen
God.
out on you, dude?
Dude, you're gonna get me in trouble, man. Like
You don't have to mention names. Just
I know that, but you know, there's certain times where like because I keep it 100% real. I think you guys know that.
That's
I
why we're making sure we can get that all out of you because you're an honest guy. So we want to make sure.
Of course. So there is a lot of people that would rather hate me than enjoy the understanding that like, hey, like if we're real all the time with Chris, you get exactly what you expect, which is really nice. You know, like he's always going to be honest, always going to be an authentic guy. But at the same time, like if you want to get close, like, and you're fucking up, just like you better call me out if I'm fucking up. Like, I don't want to be that asshole, dude. Like, tell me what's up. That way I can fix it. You know, like, why don't we want people to be the best that they can be? So, yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you just throw all that shit out the fucking window, man. And you just start to enjoy what you do and start to enjoy your people and the vibe that we've created at this restaurant. Like, these people fucking love working here. And I've been doing one-on-one interviews for a week now. And the feedback we're hearing is just like everything you could want as a chef and as an owner of people. Like, I fucking love this place. Like,
dude, you
I
are
have a transitioning line cook.
You're so media trained, dude. You just dodged the question.
I know.
I was waiting
for him to finish to say exactly what you're saying. Like you didn't answer my question.
What shit? What was the question?
About the biggest Karen moment, like a blow up Karen, like a Karen moment. Because you're like, I'm gonna get so in trouble.
Right.
But by the way, that was I almost fucking fell in the gaze of your talking, and I almost was gone and just flew with you, dude.
I always still had that line.
Okay, I'll fucking answer.
You don't have to give specifics, but did anybody get?
I understand that.
Yeah.
I would say, like in recent memory, number one, this couple came in and sat down. We were doing a greatest hits menu, which we're going to be launching July 10th of this year, celebrating 9 years of Localis. Every year I go back through the last year. I pick my favorite dishes. We pick our favorite dishes, like the whole staff. Mm-hmm. And then we recreate those, whatever time of year that it is, into the greatest hits menu. And we were feeding this table and they sent the first 3 courses back. And I went back and tasted every dish. Because if you send food back at Localis, you better believe I'm going to eat it. I don't give a fuck about your cooties. Because, and there are people that could back me up on this. Like, if I'm wrong and the food is bad, I will be the first motherfucker at your table being like, holy shit, like, we've really fucked up. And I'm sorry. Like, let's fix this. Let's make it better. And, you know, let's show us what you're really about. Mm-hmm. And, they sent back a dish that was like the hit. It's coming back on this current menu that we're going to be doing July. It's coming back because it's so like, it's my favorite dish I've ever created. Like literally and that's hard to say because that's like the best song that you ever wrote or the best, you know, riff that that's hard to say. But I'm telling you, like, we're bringing that back, and they sent that back. And I was like, you can fuck yourself at this point. So instead of getting mad, I legit went out there and I was like, listen, you don't like my food. I've tasted what you've sent back. I understand that you don't like it, but that's not going to change. It's going to be the same thing all night long. So why don't we just like cut ties right now? I'll pay your bill. Please don't worry about it. And you guys can just go. I don't want to waste, you know, another 2 hours of your time and another, you know, however many hundreds of dollars. And I just asked them, like, if you want to stay, that's one thing. But if you want to go, like, you should do that. And they opted to go. I asked them, you know, what restaurants they really loved because I wanted to understand the reference point. It's like asking, like, what bands do you love? If they say Slipknot and fucking Mudvayne, you're like, okay, like, I kind of know where we're at now. Versus like, oh, Spawn of Possession and Surreption. Like, okay, we're in a different category. Same thing with restaurants, you know? And they obviously like very safe restaurants without a whole lot of flavor. if they would have been
Mhm.
correct about my dishes and they would have been wrong, I would have been the first to say like, you're absolutely right. And we've done that. There's been dishes I've tasted where I'm like,
You fucked
we're
this
a
up.
Michelin starred restaurant and we just serve
Yeah,
that. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's like train wrecking on stage. Could you imagine, like, you guys just you're
Yeah.
playing a song and then you're just like, oh shit, it's the whole thing's done.
It's a nightmare. It's a
It's a
great
fucking
nightmare,
brutal
dude.
nightmare.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at with you with the pressure that gets put on. Like so that's what I'm saying. Your confidence is so like, we're not gonna fuck this up ever. It's like,
Yeah.
and if we do, it's a surprise. Like every time I was on stage, I'd be like, anything can go wrong. Amp can blow up, anything can
100%.
go wrong. You know what I mean? People are gonna be like, oh, that guy or those.
That's the pasta
that
machine.
band.
The amp going out.
Yeah, the
is
pasta machine. Yeah,
dude.
the pasta machine blows up. But just like, and you have the confidence of like, we're so confident in what we do that like, that's fuck it. I don't fucking care. It's like you have
Yeah.
that confidence. Like, and with you like drumming, it's like, well, I could have been better. But like with food, you're like, I fucking fuck you. Like, I know what I'm doing. you know what I'm saying? That's what's very interesting about like it's very logical. Like, because you've seen the results and you've seen like what.
How
comes
many
from that,
people
so-
are on your staff?
18.
Oh
Nice.
shit. That's a big
Yeah.
They're
band.
legit, dude.
That's
They
a big
look like-
band.
So, and legit too, like, I never, like, oh man, hot take, another fucking hot take right now.
Do it.
You have a small orchestra going if we're gonna keep going with the music metaphor for what you're doing, dude.
So this fucking restaurant gets an Eater article about this incredible new business plan of paying their employees like a minimum of like this incredible wage, taking all this time off, like having all they approached, this, everyone was like celebrating how amazing they were. I did that 4 years ago with Localis. Like when I reopened, I was like, listen, I'm never going to burn out being a chef again because I really love what I do, but it's not sustainable at the rate that we were doing it. So I abandoned everything that the restaurant used to be to launch the new Localis, where every person on staff makes $55,000 minimum. Like that's the entry level base pay that you do. You work 4 days a week, not 5. You do work 10-hour days or maybe even a 12-hour day, but you always get paid for 48 hours, but at max you work 44. That's the lowest paid tier at Localis. That's a month paid vacation. So you get a full month every year off. Medical benefits, retirement, the whole deal, right? Like, so that was the whole focus, but I never thought about contacting the press about it because like, that's some shit you do for your fucking people, for your family. You're like, hey, all these cats know what I make. Every single person that works at Localis knows how much I get paid from the restaurant.
Right.
I don't do the whole like non-transparency thing. And this fucking chef comes out and says like, look at what I've done. It's this amazing thing. And it's exactly our business model from 4 years previous. Like, how do you deal with that? And I'm so uncomfortable talking about the things that I do for my people because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Because I'm like, I don't want to sit here and like brag about how great I am for my people. Like,
they're a gift.
Yeah.
You don't like, I don't like gifts. They're your gift. You don't like bragging about your
God damn it, Joel! Don't turn this around on me, you motherfucker. Oh, I hate being fucking humbled. Don't do that. Fine. All right. How much do I owe you for this therapy session? Because like,
$13.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a fucking steal, bro. Holy shit, man.
I'm reasonable, just like you.
I don't know, dude. I think that setting up a good work environment for your staff is what is the smartest thing you should do as a business owner. You want longevity. You're not looking for, just pop in, pop out, especially at your level. You need
careers.
You need you need true, real relationships to keep, the engine running over there because it's such a high caliber thing,
I mean, you said something that my manager said to me in my interview, and now I'm managing much people too, and I'm using that same technique, which is you start off with there's no egos here, like, because I work in technology and stuff, and there's people. When you get the people that are like, oh no, that's not how you do it. You do it like this, blah, blah. It's like, no, fuck off. Like, you don't talk to people like that. First of all, you don't like like go like, oh, you're wrong. Fuck you. You never do that. It's like we all just be like, if you don't know, just fucking tell us. Like don't like fake like you know. Just we're your family. We're gonna help you out through it. And if you have like a want to learn, then we're all gonna fucking work our asses off to make sure you know the thing, and it's you don't have to fucking worry about it. But if people like start condescendingly talk about this is how you do it, whatever, like, and they kind of have like, they don't leave their ego at the door, they bring it in, and they're kind of like, no, I know what to do, you guys don't know what to do, like you're gone, like I will fire you in a second. Like I'm not fucking with any of that shit. Like, and we say that in all interviews, just going like, no ego here. There's no, and that's what you said earlier. Just like dropping the fucking ego. Like we don't care.
Kill
We
that
wanna
shit.
Get the job done. Like we're here to get a job done. We're not here to like fucking piss farther than the other guy. We're here to like try to
Although
like.
it's kind of cool to piss farther than your homie.
Oh,
you
when
know
I was like a little
what
kid, dude. I used to arc
Dude,
him
if
over
you
the-
can like
yeah.
stream it way up, I mean, like
No, it's the art,
that's the
dude.
fucking.
You got to get the
I mean, I
art,
grew up in
dude.
Forest Hill, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
literally pride myself on my horseshoe playing capabilities. Like,
Did you piss
hell
off?
I
Did you
yeah,
ever
can
piss off
fucking,
the
I will
bridge? You're-
destroy you in horseshoes.
Dude,
Forest Hill Bridge, though. Did you ever piss off Forest Hill Bridge?
Dude, I've hung off that thing. There's been times I've thought, like, what a stupid fucking teenager you were, like, to be
Yeah.
trying to get some cool, like, idea of hanging off of the fucking, Forest Hill Bridge. Like, we did all that really stupid shit, like, hung off
Oh
it
my
upside down and,
God.
like, you think about it now, Anthony, you have children. If my children did that, I would fucking beat the fuck out of them. Like,
I was
Yeah,
go ahead
literally
and call
gonna.
CPS right now. Like, I
It's one
will
of the-
thump them up so bad.
Highest bridges in the highest bridges in the United States, like one of the top 5 highest bridges
One
in
of
the
the
United
top,
States.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
And
you
we're
didn't
just like,
mention
hey,
it-
let's hang off this thing upside down, like
If you
fucking
didn't mention it, I was gonna mention it. There's plenty of things that I did in my childhood
God,
that
me
if
too.
I find out if any of my kids do it, dude, they're
But
chained
that
up in the
molded
dungeon,
you.
dude. I'm sending them out to the dungeon. We're gonna chain them up in the dungeon.
Yeah, I know.
dude.
Play fucking Defeated Sanity backwards.
Just feed them Localis scraps, dude, and just bring them home at the end of the night, dude.
Localis scraps are still better than most food. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no,
but
it's
like,
like,
Well, they're still my kids, dude.
It's
I
like,
want
those are
them to
still
eat
hundreds of
good.
dollars of food.
They're still
literally,
my kids.
motherfucker, thousands of dollars. No, I mean, realistically, for what you pay for what you get here, like, I still think it's a fucking great deal. Like, I really do. Like, I think it's a fucking awesome deal. And if you're into food, like, this is worth it. Like, this is worth spending the money, worth going all out, like, worth kind of just like doing that thing. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. Like, people will buy $1,000 cell phone without fucking thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
They will pay crazy money for a tattoo. They will do, bottle service at a club for fucking $800 for a bottle that costs $20. Like, we'll do all that
think
shit.
about it. Think about that. You just brought up the phone and all that shit. Like, I don't remember I remember my previous phones, but I don't think about them or ever. They're
This
they're
was a
never
tattoo.
part of like
going to your
my
restaurant was
memory.
a tattoo.
But then I could
So,
be
like never gonna forget
I
about
could
it.
take
Like,
the experience of going to your restaurant to the end of my life. I could take
Yep.
it till as long as my
oh, dude, we gotta
memory-
go together. We gotta go together.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
I really want to give Chris some kind of gift we can give.
My
back to
40th
him.
birthday is coming up. What are you doing? Is July 27th? Like, what do you in the end of July? Is
Well,
what's-
dude, we
what's
want to
the-
wait until he's done with Italy, which is he's coming back.
Fuck Italy. I'm saying.
Hey,
I'm
whoa! I
kidding,
mean,
I'm
come
kidding.
on,
where-
man! Like,
that's what-
whoa!
Hey,
My sous
fuck
chef
Italy.
is half-blooded Italian. I mean, you gotta watch it
Hey,
here.
I
Huh?
don't give a shit. It's my birthday, 40th birthday.
No,
no,
that's
what-
where the
what-
conversation started because I said that I wanted to go after he came back from Italy and see what he would bring back from Italy, and then that's when that conversation started.
Is
the double
July
date.
is July gonna be Italy-ish or Italy?
No,
August is south.
Okay, I can do August.
yeah,
and
August is
September
south,
north.
September is
August.
north.
Yeah.
But to be really honest with you, I think you should come for the greatest hits menu.
When is that?
That's all of July.
Oh, dude.
It
My
goes
birthday.
through July and early August.
And
Which
and
my
those
birthday.
reservations aren't open yet, so I could still like
Yes, July 27th. 4 for July.
Dude,
27th.
my wife's birthday's in the
I
beginning.
just
of the
looked
month,
for my
too,
fucking
so
phone as I'm looking into it.
No, I'm down. I'm 100% down, dude.
This
That
is a
sounds
Bryce
awesome.
Joel situation, dude. Me and Osa
Do
are
you do
just
tables
the
of
tag-alongs.
6? Do you tables of 6 at all?
Yeah, we could do 6. So at the counter, which that's what I suggest. Like you guys sit at the table, you know, inside the dining room.
Yeah.
At the counter, which man, like I love talking about this because it's all about me, right? Like I do all the spiels, I talk about the wine, I talk about the food, I talk about the story, I
And I
talk
want
about
to
all
be
the
front
shit.
row. I want to be front row for that, dude.
Yeah, and it has to be that. And you'll get it when you get here, but it's not the same as being in a band because realistically, if people don't give a fuck, like I don't have to give a fuck either. You know what I mean? Like it's actually hard to give a fuck and really care every day.
Well,
But
you're
when
gonna
people
know
come
that
in
I'm
here
giving
and
a
they're like
fuck, dude.
stoked on it, like it's
Totally.
a really fun time at the bar. Like we have a great fucking time.
I'm
So
gonna dive in, dude. I'll dive into that experience, and
And we don't want any discounts. We don't want any discounts for paying full price, like full thing.
hey,
Don't hook us
listen,
up.
motherfucker, you don't own the restaurant, so you can't tell me what the fuck to do.
I'm
I mean,
saying, but I'm
sorry,
saying
homie.
6 people
Wait,
though. 6
he-
people. I'm not
okay.
trying to be like, oh no.
I
I
free-
didn't
Either
say
way,
I'm going to
here's
give
a-
you the whole thing for free, Joel. There is something in between
Okay.
free and
Thank
full
you.
price, right?
Thank you.
Like, come on, dude.
Thank you. I know. I don't want to be
Come
that
on.
guy. It's like, oh, free, dude. Or I have 11 people with me.
Well,
so it's
dude,
all free.
it
Come on.
started as a double-ed date, and then Joel just added 2 plus 1.
Carrie and Taylor.
Oh yeah. Carrie and
Yeah.
Taylor are also great company.
So you're
So-
agreeing then. So like, don't call him out. You're agreeing.
I'm turning 40. I'm turning 40. I haven't figured out any fucking thing to do yet. I've been like, what am I gonna do for my 40th
You're such
birthday?
a
It's on
spring lamb. You're so young. Just turning 40.
It's on a Saturday. You're open Saturday, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's a restaurant, Joel. Yeah, Saturdays. We're open.
Fuck, dude. Joel's just swinging and missing right now, so hard right now.
I hate
He just
baseball.
keeps
Baseball
fucking-
sucks. But
No one is the Savannah Bananas, dude.
no, dude. Oh, I love Savannah Bananas. They're funny. But no, actually, I'm serious about that because I've been trying to like, what am I gonna do for my 40th birthday? Blah blah blah. I'm like, that sounds like a really fun thing to go to. Like, I want everyone to experience it with me. Like my closest friends, I want everyone to come and see Chris's fucking speeches on every meal, and then like have the pair of drinks, and we'll walk out of there and fucking be.
Do you want
full
to
as
tell
fuck.
them what your original
Get
idea
some
for your 40th
get some cheap
was?
hotel rooms, dude. Like there's some spots up here that are super approachable.
Oh no,
that
no,
are
no, no.
just-
We're going to the place on the that's attached to the Golden One Center.
Oh, Kimpton.
Kempton, yeah, that's the only place. I'll
Oh,
stay around
okay,
here.
big baller over here. Sorry, bro.
no,
I don't
it's
I don't
my
rock in
favorite
that
hotel.
world.
It's my favorite hotel in the fuck. I mean, we have a bunch of friends we could sleep, stay with it, but like, it's my favorite hotel because I actually was, I helped like open the Golden One Center when I was working down there. I like it was
Yeah.
like part of our project and stuff. So like going into the Kimpton the first time, I was like, this is fucking sick. I just like everything about that hotel. That was like, it's got bars everywhere. It's got like bowling. It's got like all the simple shit that you need is a hotel. It's like right there. It's expensive, but like it's fucking
Clarify
worth
it that you want, not that you need. Let's
No,
not
no,
talk
no, it's
about
not-
needs here.
No, it's not
Let's
need.
talk
I
about
mean-
wants.
It's my 40th birthday, motherfucker. I need it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Dude,
For 41st, I
do we
want.
mention? Do we
Let's
mention
get
what-
bougie then, but you know that you can't afford my style of bougie. So let me take you to bougie land and don't worry about it, okay?
I can afford.
Hey, man, I'm just-
I can afford like a $4,000 meal.
Okay, back
Or-
up, dude. I can't
Listen to him
do
throwing
that.
his dick out there, just like
Joel.
waiting for it to get smashed.
Joel,
You know, like
you're crash landing right now, dude. We just got.
Oh,
It's
I mean,
so
no, I can't
bad.
afford it. I'm just kidding. I can't afford it. Can you help us out with the price?
Osa's like, yeah, no, we
started
cannot
as a
afford
gift.
this.
It started as a gift, and now you're like, oh, dude, I can afford a $4,000 meal, and I'm over here like, dude, I can't. It started as a double date. Like, you're fucking it up for all of us, dude.
No,
Yeah.
no. That's.
I mean, to rent the whole counter out is $1,500. So I mean, that's a great deal for
That's-
me. Like,
that ain't shit. Come on, let's get. How many people are there? How many?
no,
people
I'm
can fill-
kidding. Like, no
Okay, okay.
bullshit. When I was talking about at the beginning, maybe like zooming in with the crowd and getting them to like get excited about that doing the podcast with you, which obviously was Illusions of Grandeur. But it is kind of crazy, like what people spend to come to this restaurant. I think that's that expectation and that respect that you have for that expectation when people walk in the doors. Like, yeah, they're going to be like, this better be one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. That's
Yeah.
okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay. Like, let's go. Like, I firmly believe that we can give that to you. So I think it's all good, you know, like as long as you back it up. That's like a band that records an album and then when you see them live, they're like, holy shit, like you just played that album live, you know, like I
Yeah.
watched you
Yeah.
just do that. That's
Yep.
that real shit, you know, like get the fuck
Or-
over yourself, you know, like if your
Yeah.
ego
Yeah.
is gonna pretend that you're good and you're not, like get out, you know.
There's
Totally,
a show.
100%.
There's a show in Vegas, and I'm sure there's a few of them like this, but it's called Absinthe, and it's this raunchy like circus style show, but it's in a smaller space, and it feels more intimate. And but they change the show constantly, and I want to also compare it to that. Like, I'll buy the ticket to go see that show without knowing anything about what's going to happen, because I trust that show to entertain me. Well, it would be the same thing as going to Localis. Like, I don't know what's going to be on the menu, but I'm going to pay the
You don't have the set list.
price for the ticket because I know that the experience is going to be something that I'm going to, you know, I'm going to love. I'm going to get a positive, you know, charge.
And as an older man, Anthony, you get to sit down, you get to get drunk, you get to fed. I mean, like you get good vibes. I
I
mean,
get to
this is
hang
like
with the homie. I get to hang.
Okay.
I
with the
mean, this
homie.
is a win-win-win situation.
That's my
here. I mean,
40th birthday. I want to do that. That sounds so
Dude,
much fun.
Let's
Dude.
locking
Like,
it in right now. And just so you know, that's much better than taking mushrooms and going to the super church. Dude, that was gonna be
Oh, that was gonna be our other one. I was like, dude, we were gonna go to a super church and take like an eighth of mushrooms and just see what it was like to go to like those mega churches, like a Joel Osteen.
and I'm the
megachurch,
first
just walk
person
in.
that was like,
dude,
yeah, I actually kind of want to do
can you
that.
not even bring up that name? It's like the worst ever.
My name's
Please
Joel,
don't.
dude. My name's Joel, dog. I gotta.
We wanted to get dapper and like literally get all tied up and,
And just
nice
take a
and-
shit ton of mushrooms. Just be like, yes, we are normal here. Hello.
Please, just don't. You know, like that guy, like literally does so much harm to the whole
Oh, yeah, I
movement of
know.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
so gross. I mean, in
And I
his
have
own book,
no-
he's just like, you know, he gets some sort of like attention for who he is, and he gets to do something that other people don't get to do. And he's like, it's the favor of the God. And I'm like, are you fucking serious?
He's
man?
literally like disobeying the Bible so many times.
That's your book, dude. Like
I
you
know.
just said that in your fucking book. You can't take
Yeah,
that
yeah.
back. You know, it's not a
So
sound
actually-
clip. It's literally you. Like,
So Dan, I actually kind of want to, or Dan. I
Dan.
keep wanting to call you Dan. Chris Barnum, Dan. I go backwards because I was talking
listen,
about Danny.
Joseph, whatever you want to call me is fine. Okay, like.
No, I know. So I actually want to know. We'll get a little deep here, but because you know, now that I'm getting older, I see like a lot of people being positively affected, of religion and stuff like that. And I feel like I heard you say something along those lines as far as well, that switch when you're going through the suicidal depression, the terrible times in your life. Like, well, because I feel like there's a switch that flipped with you, that you went from like you talked about it briefly, but like you were like judgy, fucking edgy, whatever, to like I just want to be happy. I want to be truthful. I want to like live this life this way. And I feel like it kind of happened like this with you. So I mean, I kind of want to know that switch, like what switched.
Yeah.
And as far as like even me and Osa have talked about, like I am with the way it's like public schools now, we're like kind of like. Probably when we have a kid, maybe Catholic school or like we're like thinking like that, and as my childhood would be like, what the fuck are you doing? You were anti-Christian. You were your whole growing up. But I'm
100%.
like,
Yeah.
at the same
You're
time,
looking
like
up Buddha. You're looking up.
no, I
all
was
the
raised
Buddhists.
Buddhist. I was raised
Yeah.
Buddhist. So like, I mean, I'm just looking at the best possible outcome, and I was in public school, and I actually had a thought the other day of how much high school like affected my train of thought to today. Like that was such a transformative time that I compare things that I'm happening close to my 40s to what happened when I was 16 in high school, like a comparison, and that I use that as like a scale to compare against. But so that switch that flipped with you, like Because I noticed that, like, you're like, I was like this, and then like, boom, I wasn't like that anymore. I was more like, fuck
Yeah.
it, I don't care. I want to know more about that.
Well, I mean, to be really honest with you, it's one of the most, it's sad, but it's a super taboo subject to talk about, like someone's religious faith or, someone's
No.
sexual identity or whatever it is that you define yourself by.
Yeah.
I can tell you for 37 years as a very well-educated atheist, very, very comfortable with death and what that meant, and just this understanding that humans are weak and need to have something to fulfill them outside of themselves. And I used to argue and fucking just be a total asshole to people of any faith. And I studied pretty hard to try to be good at it because I was vengeful and thought that religion was probably one of the most disgusting things, that's ever been out there on earth. And the funniest side story, and I promise I'll get back to it, I won't forget. But we played a show with Immolation and Nile, and I was so fucking ecstatic because Immolation to me is one of the dopest fucking
Fuck yeah.
emotional bands. Like they put emotion into their
Right.
music. You feel the hatred towards, like,
Yeah.
it's such a badass music. And I borrowed my friend James's truck to tow our trailer with our shit because at that time I was like fucking broke and trying to sell weed and do weird shit to try to make money. And so I had to borrow his truck, and it had a coexist sticker on it with all these different religious symbols.
Yeah.
And I will never forget those motherfuckers talking shit and being like, man, this fucking, douchebag with his coexist sticker. And I was like, it's not mine. It's not mine. Like that was just one of those times where I just like, oh, fuck, man. Like just it totally deflates you because that band, like, I love the sound of that band. I think they're fucking. It's not super technical, but it is full of like.
Actually, is in a weird way.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Their riffing style, for especially when they were, first coming out, was very unique and odd and just
odd time signatures.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. Yeah.
Always odd time signatures. Yeah.
Yep.
And every band had their like signature style of blasting. I think that Immolation has like a tweak that happened where they have an Immolation blast, it's just slightly off.
As a drummer, you're giving me such a hard on right now because like that style of blast beat on I'm trying to remember the fucking album. I'm sorry, I'm so fucking baked.
Close to a World Below.
Oh yes, thank you. Like,
yeah, dude.
That album, dude. Like, he was always behind the beat, but yet still driving the riff.
Yeah.
I just love that about that whole album. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was fucking wicked sounding, and it had like this vibe about it that I just fucking loved. That's like some food to me. Sometimes you get a flavor that's just so interesting that you just kind of get lost in something exciting for a while. Fish head curry was in Singapore. Like we went way out of the city center and went to this place that I had read about that was all they do: steamed fish head and a bed of curry with like some vegetables. And you take one bite and instantly you're like, holy shit. Like I went live instantly because I was like, I don't want to take another bite until I start telling people about this place, and it's the same thing with music. That's why I think that, Anthony, you drew a good correlation before. Like, while I think that food is a very, very unique art style, music and food obviously have a lot in common. And those same emotional responses can happen when you eat food is the same as when you hear an album for the first time,
And with what you just said is making me think even deeper with it. And it seems like the best human experiences are the ones where we have one or maybe more senses, because taste and smell are involved in eating. But when you're just so mainlined on one or a couple senses to where everything else around you stops, you're just in music, or you're in the tastes and textures and smells of the meal in front of you, where we're looking to be forcefully taken out of our reality,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a couple of moments, and that's why that woman had that deep of an emotional experience when she came to your place, because she did get that moment or two of a vacation from her reality. Something forced her out of it,
Yeah.
And I think that's fucking rad. That's fucking you can look at it just no differently than a painting on the wall. But like I was saying, you recreate the painting every time for each person. So that's even more of a layer of how detailed and intricate and how much effort and energy you have to put into it to make that happen on a daily basis. It's wild to me, dude.
Something that you just said that sparked an area of interest for me was how you're raised. So like if you grew up in Indonesia, you like a certain style of food, and if you grow up in the States, like you like a different style of food. But yeah, both of those areas love death metal. I mean, Indonesia, as you guys know, is like so heavy for death metal and the love of it. So it's kind of fun that food can cross that spectrum as well, because we all have a very different identity for where we grew up with food. And then you get to music, where that's more of a global language that everyone gets to speak, and if you like death metal, you like death metal. And if you like, I don't know, I was going to ask you guys too, like, if you only could choose 3 bands of, more technical style death metal that you would tell me to listen to right now, name those 3 bands.
Oh,
God damn it.
Christ. I have to pee really bad. I was still waiting for you to finish the question.
Hey, I gotta kind of pee too, all right, Joel? It's fucking hard for me too, man.
Well, we should both go pee and leave Anthony by
Just
himself
leave me and see what happens.
All right, I'll see you in just a second. I'll see you in just a second. All right, hold on.
All right, guys, it's just me doing a solo thing right now. I guess these bladders from these men are too weak compared to mine. I've only had 1 leak this episode, but anyways, guys, what's up in the chat? We got Dark One Illustrations up in there. What up, dude? Guttural Reef always there as hanging out, dude. That's sick. Yeah, guys, Casey is missing. He is at home recovering from a sickness. I don't know what the professor's doing. I didn't even get the rundown this week, so don't know where the professor is this week. Hope you're professing somewhere, brother. But yeah, as far as things with me, still got, I mentioned it earlier, got the Sever stuff. What up, Hugh Weller? Vacation from my reality is genius. Exactly, dude. Those aspects of what I was talking about, it's totally true. We're looking for ways to just take a little vacation, whether it be 5 minutes or half an hour. Oh, what up, dude? You got a carnivorous shirt, dude? Guttural Reef, old school, dude, to have a carnivorous shirt, dude. That's sick. Is it the full white logo or the outer glow logo? Or was it a gray with a black logo? I think those are the 3 versions you could have gotten. No artwork ever from Carnivorous. That's crazy. We never commissioned. Oh, actually, there was artwork on the split that we did technically with Vomit Remnants and Godless Truth. So can't fit it. It's yours in September. I don't know what you're saying there, brother.
You
Can't fit it. It's your in September.
Yeah. I just was peeing, and I'm getting back to them right now. Woo!
I know. I just
Bill, was that
so
like
much.
a next level piss for you too?
Oh,
like,
dude, I was like,
oh
rolling
my
eyes
God,
back and shit. Oh, God.
Dude.
So for one thing about actually, we're talking about peeing for a second. There's one thing. I know, but honestly though, the
welcome back.
the most clarifying moments of my life are when I'm peeing, when I can actually think clearly, and I usually come up with ideas when I'm peeing, not when I'm pooping. A lot of people, like, when they, like, I'm like clear it up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Dude,
with
post
that.
nut isn't a thing with you?
No, post nuts is kind of just like, I'm tired.
That's the epitome of clarity. I mean, even beyond peeing, like,
well, that's like a
post
sexual
nut.
clarity. That's a sexual clarity. I'm talking about like a life clarity. Like piss is life, dude.
See, I think sex is life. I mean, for sure. Like, you know,
I mean,
I'm gonna. I don't know why I'm gonna
in
fight
more
on this
ways
hill, but
than
like
one,
piss is
it's
life.
No, I understand, dude. Especially like I'm back on my water, dude. I drink so much water, dude, and I love it.
how are you not pissing then, Anthony? This is
know, what the
absurd.
fuck?
I've already hit the point where I can now. My bladder is settled out, and it knows how to hold like.
He's
fucking
sitting in piss
24
right now, dude.
Literally, adult diapers for
Okay,
sure.
guys, I
No,
wear.
there's no
All right,
way.
that's the clue. I mean, the secret, the fourth wall. We're breaking it, dude. I keep Depends on during these, dude.
Well, I just took my shoes and socks off, so I'm now barefooted
I
the way
prefer to
that.
get the G-string version, dude. So I constantly have a wedgie, and I'm peeing into Depends the whole time. Nah, my bladder's ready, dude. Let's fucking
My
go.
bladder's
dude.
ready to go, motherfucker. Like, let's go.
All right,
But-
so back to the questions, because we got media trained a little bit, and then
Media
Anthony took the
trained.
bait, and then no, I'm just kidding. I remember you were like talking about like the change that happened, you know.
Oh yeah, all
yeah,
right.
yeah. And you can't side quest us because we're buzzed right now, so we'll take
I
that
know.
bait and we'll run with it for like a half hour.
I know. It's just hard because today everyone wants to hate a Christian, and it's hard because I did hate Christians like the most.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part about what happened to me. I mean, to be short and sweet, so I don't get too into it. Like, I was never happy. My entire childhood was very strange. I didn't really get along with my parents. I didn't get along with my siblings. I didn't get along with the world. And I got really fucking dark after owning a restaurant, feeling the hatred towards you from employees. Like, you don't realize how hard it is to have employees, even if you're good to them. You know, like, there's going to be people that literally just hate your guts, you know,
because
and like,
it's an authoritarian
for someone like
situation.
me, that's too harsh, dude. Like, I can't handle that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially if you're lying to my face, like, and saying that everything's fine, you know, and then you hate me. I'm like, that's my whole fear of life. And that drove me to like this super dark depression. And I tried to end my marriage. I was a shitty husband for a lot of years. I did a lot of really stupid shit and just wanted it all to go away. You know what I mean? And really got very, very dark and was kind of saved in a no lesser term. I mean, that's just what it was. And after something happens to you where you literally have a gun, you know, ready to go and you're ready to do this, and then something intervenes, it doesn't matter what you believe at that point. There is only the truth. Like, everything I've said tonight has just been about the truth, you know? And after spending many, many months of trying to figure out what all this shit meant and what I really believed as a person, because I'm an analytical thinker, you know, like, I am highly intelligent, which actually makes a really shitty job of trying to be social. You don't really associate with people real well when you have a high IQ. And I think that's always looked at as like some sort of bravios. They're like special, you know, I'm so great. But really, you're like, no, it's just really hard for me to fucking communicate. And
well, you are communicating. You are communicating,
great.
but it's through
your
food. It's
well,
through
now,
your,
you know,
like if somebody wants to talk to you about your food, I'm sure you are ready to talk to them, no problem.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, this is what I do. I'm also just as comfortable talking about the deepest, you know, shit that I have in my life, because I'm not embarrassed about any of it. You know, I'm just, it is what it is. I'm just comfortable with who I am as a person. Yeah.
And especially if you're in a position where you feel so you're happy and things are going great for you,
it radiates.
You know that's what you've been through to get to this point.
It does.
We have to stop. We have to stop because everything's going great for you. Like, I'm not going to get all deep on a podcast about it because it's very personal shit, you know, but like, things have been so scarily like on the verge of disaster recently, and then have come out of it in a way nothing has changed in the way that my life goes. Nothing is
Yeah.
easier or, you know, like everything happens great for me. It's just how you deal with the shit that happens to you. Are you grateful for what you have, or are you constantly looking for more? Like these are these very simple things that are taught in a specific style. Like, because you would think like from an atheist to someone of faith, you'd be like Buddhism or Hinduism or something without a God. You know, it's more so about just being a great person and, you know, like just take care of others and be kind and all these things. But when you realize that the bottom line of it is that I personally feel like we are the worst gods. We are not good at being our own gods because we don't really enable ourselves to think outside of our own perspectives very often. It's very difficult to think about someone else's perspective about a situation that's happened or something you said. And through, you know, a lot of just trying to understand and read a lot and try to get really educated about it. Because if you hate something so much and then you have to back it up, like it sets you up for a pretty crazy lifestyle, you know, which I absolutely love and appreciate. And that was the change, man. Like
What was
you
so
can work through
the
anything.
realization though, like the realization that you're going through the hard time, and to for someone in such a hard time to make a switch like that, like to go like, you know what, fuck this, it's and have the fucking insanely positive, awesome outlook you have now. It kind of like I just want to know like what like clicked your brain out of it, like what was like, oh shit, you know, going from like absolute negative, gonna fucking, you know, end this is terrible, to like a positive, like in most one of the more positive people, and has, you know, really good like energy and happiness, and shows like, you know, honest about like what they're feeling at the time, to like, I mean, before that you were the absolute opposite. So like, and it seemed like it, to do that in such a
Live for
short period of
something
time.
other than yourself.
Mhm.
Simple answer. That's
So
it. Whatever
did
you
someone say that
believe.
to you? Did someone say that to you? That, or
No,
someone say a inspirational thing that just like clicked your brain
no.
out of? Okay, okay.
I'm being totally honest. That's just my vibe of life. The same as cooking. Like, I don't give a fuck about what people say is the right way to be or how many people follow them or the influence that they have. Like, all of us make very basic decisions at a primal level where we think this sounds like something that is truth to me or this sounds something that is not truth to me. We all just coat that with humanity. And the more humanity that we put on problems, the more confusing they get, because what about feelings? What about emotions? What about this? What about that? When you strip all that away and you make decisions based solely upon what you know is right, because at the end of the day, we all know what is right, you know?
Right.
So I think once you can let that go, it opens up a whole way of being what it is that you want to be. And once you're not living for yourself, I think you're your best self. Once again, I'm not trying to propose that everyone be, you know, what I am or have the same belief as me, because I feel like that's crazy. You know, like I don't want laws based on what I believe. Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
live by my doctrine. You know, that's just the way that it goes.
Totally.
But when it comes down to it, like I was a terrible God. I was in control of my entire destiny, everything that happened to me, the good and the bad. I was highly successful before I found, you know, the faith that I have now. Like, it's not that I didn't, you know, accomplish things before that. There was plenty of time before that that I was doing extremely well. I mean, my electrical business was extremely, you know, successful, and that was a really good thing for my family, for money. But all of that just crumbles in comparison to what makes you happy at the end of the day, you know? So whatever that
Yes.
is, I think if that's yourself, if making you yourself happy is what you want in life, I think you're just going to have a shitty life. And that's definitely what, you know, I was living for a very long time. You can be nice to people, you can be whatever, you can be whatever you want to be. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy until you're living for something greater than yourself. And whether that's your children or your wife or, you know, faith or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is, like, just don't be your own God. We're not good at it, dude. We're fucking humans. Like,
Yeah.
we're a step above animals, you know, realistically.
Totally.
I know. I'm
Damn.
now. I'm gonna make mistakes until I'm gonna make mistakes forever, dude. As long as I'm conscious,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
like
keep
9
doing
today.
it. It's never stopped. I still like.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
Of
know?
course, man. Chopped literally just, I did my interview with them, and This is the second time. So quite literally, I went through the whole pre-production phase. They came to the restaurant, they shot me doing all my shit, like I'm Chef Chris, I'm going to win this chopped competition, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we did that whole thing, and I'm doing a test run. My crew would bring me, mystery baskets, and I'd fucking cook them in 30 minutes. Like, just go for it. Practice,
Sick.
just like, practice in a jam room. And I'm doing this one and I kill it and I'm like, I'm fucking ready. And I get a call from New York and they're like, hey, I don't know if you've heard this, but they're shutting down New York. There's no one flying in or out. And my flight was supposed to be the next day. So that's when the whole world shut down, and then they called me back and we're doing Chopped again. And, I don't want to lose track of, what I was actually meaning to say by all this, but they asked me like what your people would see or what your people would say about you, like if we asked them outside of you, what do you think about your chef or whatever. And I think that's when it was a realization that if you're genuinely for the people that you're with, your family, your children, whatever it is, like you were genuinely for them, no matter how hard you have to be or no matter how, uncomfortable the situation might be to bring up, but you have to be like, hey, I love you this much to tell you this. I mean, that's special shit, dude. It's very special shit. So
100%.
that's kind of where it bottoms for me.
Yeah. Make a happiness bubble, and you're trying to just surround yourself with love and happiness, dude.
I like laughing, love, and happiness. Those are like the tightest things in life, right? Those are the coolest things that you could possibly do in life. Like, might as well not seek those. But like, sometimes you lose. Like, that's kind of where I was getting at with Dan, Chris, Barnum. Was
motherfucker? I am never letting you live this down ever.
No, because I remember like I posted about you, and I was like, but there's that dash Dan fucked me up. I was like, oh yeah, that Dan's in there. And it just stuck in my head like super hard, and I kept wanting to say Dan first. But just being like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. Spawn Obsession's like one of the coolest bands, dude.
Cabinet, I mean, Incurso is my favorite. It's my favorite album to listen to if I'm like high as fuck or on mushrooms, because it's so intricate. But I can never lie that I hate the nostalgia of bands. I don't enjoy it. Like, I don't think the first album from every band is their best. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, that
just
shit
be
is
realistic
crap.
about it. Like you're saying, don't lie. Like, what's the best one? Like,
come on,
like
you
be
know
like,
what
oh,
I
it's
mean?
the
Like,
oldest one, dude. It's like Show No Mercy. You don't like Slayer, but Show No Mercy from Slayer, dude. It's like a punk album almost. But like compared to like the other stuff they've done, it's like, dude, come on. Like, it's not just because it's older. That's the only reason why I like it. That's the only
Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets.
It's whatever one you had the deepest connection with. That's it.
But then
I just don't think I live my life like that.
The pissing matches though, with like, back when we were elitists, just going like, no, it's when the guy's like, no, dude, that new shit sucks, dude.
No, I'm saying like in Curso, you're saying that's the best one. That's the one you had the deepest connection with.
Only when I'm like ripped and intricately listening to all of the complexity of it. But if I'm going to a live show, I'd rather play Cabinet than Incurso live.
We think the same.
But I love Incurso for just the fucking epicness. It's just like there's so much going on. But I definitely would rather see them play Cabinet.
You talk about the new bands and stuff. I don't know if you knew that Casey is doing Retromorphosis. It's it's Dennis from Spawn Possession on vocals, Casey on drums, Christian from Necrophagus Obscura, and Erland from Spawn Possession. It's like
and Blood Red Throne.
And Blood Red Throne. And it's already done, so I've already heard it's fucking amazing. It's basically like
I've already heard it. You fucking
I've already heard
fuck,
it.
man.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
You're such a hipster fuck.
Why don't you send me a dub egg?
Know people.
No, but like
we've had
that came from this podcast though.
To listen to the podcast. It's
the whole refreshing. Like talking to Dennis from Spawn. I was like, I wanted someone from Spawn Possession. Like when we started this podcast, I'm like, we need Dennis or whoever will do it, and Dennis just turned out to be like one of our close friends after that, and we just talked all the time. And Casey, he's like, yeah, actually, you know what? He like messaged us like a day later. He's like, you got me kind of interested in music again. Like I want to do, because he's a psychologist or psychiatrist in Sweden, and he was like, I kind of want to do it again. I want to do it. Like I have all these
Which-
songs, and they
We
fucking
did
recorded them.
Real quick, just sorry to cut you off, but we did like a super Cali Death Odious Mortem high five because we were like, what if Spawn of Possession gets back together because of this, dude?
Yeah.
That was our thought. Like we just ignited the flame in Dennis.
Yeah.
And he had hit up Jonas after that because of the flame that we lit.
Yeah.
What the fuck's gonna happen from this? And boom, here we are today talking about Retromorphosis with fucking Casey Howard from the Cali
And
Death
Christian
podcast.
from fucking Christian Moonzer from Necrophagist and
Dude,
like one of the best guitar players ever. Yeah.
I mean, it's in Cursa with Casey. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Christian was on in Cursa, right?
No,
Yeah.
he was on he was on Epitaph.
He didn't do anything on Spawn already.
Oh no, Jesus Christ! All right, we're getting late. Yeah, he did for sure.
Yeah, you're trying to step out.
No, I'm not trying to step out.
Yeah. Oh, it's so late, man. Oh shit. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh god, it's all the time. No, it's not. It's not that.
No.
I actually mixing up Spawn with Necrophagist. But yeah, that's I can't wait. We'll send you some songs and stuff, dude. It's fucking insane, dude. It's ridiculous. It'll blow your fucking head off. Just like coming,
Yeah,
Casey. Just from this podcast, we have a Spawn kind of like resurgence, and we're like so excited. Like we're so excited.
I am fucking super excited to hear it because unlike you guys, I have gotten so fucking picky with death metal.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to hit every fucking aspect for me. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be a perfect meal, which is like almost impossible to do. And I'm like, it has to be that in order for me to like it anymore. You know, like
I've been a
100%.
weirdo
I don't know what
from
it
the
is.
beginning, dude. And there's blueprints that we've just been exposed to for so many years that, like, we were talking, we're going back to the, just picking out what bands sound like what bands. So to avoid that, I followed that avant-garde, atonal, dissonant style music, whether it be death metal, black metal, or otherwise. That's where I get my rocks off on hearing something that doesn't sound like anything else,
Yeah, something
Yeah.
different.
But then going back to the classics, there's something that stayed in there that no matter what, I'm always ready for a Considered Dead or a Pierce from Within, or that's just ingrained in me. And yeah, we hold things so high on our such a high pedestal that we're just constantly comparing things to those things, and it kind of sucks because art is art, and you don't really get the full, I get what this guy's trying to do, gal, whatever. But yeah,
This actually kind of brings me to what Chris was saying, what Dan Barnum Chris was saying about stop that joke. That's terrible. But
I know that one was a joke.
It's the last three I've been. But as far as Nick Shangelis, insane bass player, Cephalic Carnage, Job for Cowboy. He was on a podcast, and I've thrown this out to a bunch of people, but you were talking about nostalgia and stuff, and he said that he was on a podcast recently, and he posted the clip where he was talking about, like, he asked the question, and it just like it fucks everyone up that it fucks me up when he asks it. He says, "Is nostalgia a form of depression?"
I think you've already asked this on the show, and I didn't agree. I don't know if I agree then.
What do you think? Because Chris, you said that in the beginning, like you were talking more about the people that were kind of more like on like the first albums, but like just thinking about like you're thinking about like good times that you had.
It's not good enough.
Yeah. It's like past.
Yeah, I think that it doesn't. I don't think that we get to react to it in that way because it's our opinion about whatever they did. So I think that it's their opinion that matters, the most. And for what we think, it's like Lord of the Rings, just because we're doing that menu right now. Some people fucking hated the movies because it wasn't exactly like the books. I read the books as a kid. I fucking loved them. The movies were fucking awesome. They were different than the books, but for me, like when you read a book, you're creating that fucking movie in your mind, right? Of what people look like, how things happen, blah, blah, blah.
That's the main
And
reason
then
why
when you get
people
to
have
see
the different
exactly,
opinions.
then you see the interpretation from someone else's point of view. And for me, I'm just like, dope. That's two cool different ways of looking at the same story. Now I get 2 times the enjoyment, whereas most people want to just fucking destroy, you know, that it's not this, it's not that, you know. Like, I guess that's the choice that you make in life. Is everything going to be fucking rad because it's different or new or interesting or whatever the fuck it is? Like, that's cool. Or is it going to be, you know, this fucking sucks because it's not exactly what I wanted it to be, you know, and I need to control this person's art and this person's, you know, decisions, and I need them to be exactly like me.
Yeah,
That's like a hard thing about food, movies, anything that you put in art, death metal, no matter what it is. Like, people are gonna look at you and, you know, judge you upon whatever they think is your best attribute, you know, or story or song or whatever the fuck it is.
Definitely. Good answer. That's a great answer. What do you think, Anthony? Are you
Long
depressed
answer,
right
good
now?
answer. Thank you.
No, it's good. No. It's just like
I'm trying to remember what your question was.
It's like,
I don't
do
know.
you think like when you take a dump, like is
No,
it like when it's
what was the
wet,
real
is it
question,
hydrated?
dude?
Oh,
Do you remember your own question?
no, yeah, it's nostalgia, a form of depression.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes.
My statement on that
Yeah.
was
It's like, yes, he gives a hard yes. Sorry.
Yes.
yes. I got it. So nostalgia isn't a form of depression, but I think nostalgia can, you know, interact, or it can make depression depending on the person, because you could look at it in 2 ways. Me, and yes, I'm being like, oh, I'm super positive. Well, that's just how I like to think. It feels better, guys. And how it is when I get nostalgic, I either get like, yeah, I do get sad for it being gone, but at the same time, I still like to try and recreate the feelings that I had with whatever it may be, a song or going to a place, or like going to Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, dude. I have a, a, a a throwback to when I was a kid when I go there, because I know of the 100 years or more history that's there, and I've been going there since I was a kid, you know. I actually want to go back to Great America before that shit closes down. That's going to close down.
They went last year. It was all right.
That's no. That's
It's
what I'm also
nostalgia.
scared of too. That's what I'm scared of too. I've talked about Streetlight just not being the same.
You have nostalgia in your head though, and that's like kind of like what Great America was fun. Like, we went there because we were gonna go, whatever. Like after 4 p.m., we were at a hotel right next to it. Like, let's just go. We haven't been forever. Let's go. Me and Osa, and like it was fun, but we were like, all right. We did like 3 rides. Let's get the fuck out of here. like it sucks when you put the nostalgia on, like, well, certain, like, I guess you could say movies and stuff. Like when you like show someone a movie that like in your head is, when you saw it as a kid, is the sickest thing, and then you see it with them, it's like, it's kind of cheesy. Fuck.
Yeah, but then finally, there's other things that still hold weight, though, dude.
Yeah,
movies and shit. Like, you watch a movie, no matter what, it gives you the same stuff. Goonies. Every time I watch the Goonies, bro, that takes me right back, dude. And I feel the same way, and it's even cooler because I know what's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. You're like, you're not wondering. You're like,
I do love you, Chunk, I swear.
Just and having that, like, being able to repeat dialogue and all that kind of stuff, it just makes that's a positive nostalgic situation. Like, I'm not just saying like nostalgia is the form. It could be a precursor to depression if the person.
Yeah, I don't know. Hearing you guys, both your answers makes me kind of like, I don't think it's I think can be a form, like you said, what Anthony said, it's kind of can be a form, but also can be a form of happiness. Can be a form.
Yeah.
What's the actual definition of that word?
It is to get boners on a plane.
Yeah, what does nostalgia actually mean?
Yeah, what does nostalgia
a
mean?
longing for the
Okay.
past. I'm guessing a longing for the past.
Oh, longing is in the third word. A sentimental longing or wishful affection of the past, typically a period of or a place of happy personal associations.
Depression. You lose. Depression.
Fuck you, Nick.
It's straight up remembering a better time. Like, I'll keep it very short so I don't want to diatribe about, the better way to live life. But when you're thinking about kids, how fast they grow up, right? You know this. You have 3 kids. So there's 2 ways to think about it. Number one is that it's a very terrible court date that's coming up because it's happening and it's going to be fast. And you literally get there in 2 seconds because you fucking dread it. Now, if it's a vacation that you're dying to go on, how long does it feel like when you're waiting for that vacation to happen?
Forever.
So if you constantly put a better goal in front of you that's in the future that you know is going to happen, but you can't wait for that, then you get to live that time of slowing down and being like, man, it's taking forever to get here versus like, oh my God, it just fucking flew by. And it sounds like some ridiculous fucking self-help book that my wife would probably make fun of because she is like straight up like that.
You're speaking straight to me right now, dude. The anticipation for something that I'm trying to make great for me and my family and the countdown to that thing. We're doing that right now. I'm taking them to Hawaii in June, dude. And we're going to have a blast, dude. We're going to be there for 7 nights, dude. Play a little golf with my brother, one of my best friends, and fucking all our families are going to be together. All the kids are going to be together, dude. We're going to be poolside, beachside, eating good food out there. And dude, it's the countdown right now. I'm in what you're talking about, the anticipation for this thing to happen. And it is a great feeling. I love being able to sit down with my kids and be like, it's this many days. And they're like, oh, dude, I want some shave ice. I want to go down the water slide. I want to get in the cave pool. I want to do the stupid things that we always do. And dude. That's what it's all about, dude. And then
there it is.
Then when you're in those moments, you try and slow down time as much as you
don't
can.
want to go like run by all of a sudden.
And you
like,
do have the ability to just slow it down a little bit, dude.
We're infinitely capable and yet consistently forget it, like
fuck your sleeping in. 100%. Fuck your sleeping in. Acclimate yourself to the time as quick as you can. Get up as early as you can, make the days as long as you can, because you could sleep when you fucking get back, dude. That's what it is, dude. Just make the days as long as you possibly can. Do all the things with the kids, eat all the good food, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm doing it, dude.
Well, this shitting and grin is because also too, I'm like, I've worked to that point where I'm like, fuck all this business. Like, holy shit. Like, nope, never mind. Like, I'm down for just like second class dream. Like, I'm not really interested in this level of work.
Yeah.
But that's pretty fucking awesome, man. I've had like such an interesting and wonderful conversation with you guys, man. Like, it's been super fun. Super fun.
Wrap it up too. Look at that. See that media training. He's wrapping it up. That's fucking
bro. I've been known as the one take wonder. I mean, like I'd be able to just hit it down.
We're gonna get a part 2 for me. It's not gonna be one
take.
Fucking
take that picture down, you asshole. Fuck you.
No, one take wonder, dude.
I said it halfway through, and I'm gonna say it again, dude. This is exactly what I wanted it to be, dude. Chris, you're a great fucking awesome dude. This is a great
it's been. Dude. This is everything I want in life. Like, my assistant general manager and my lead, like server kind of guy in the front. We're all hanging out at the end of this menu, talking about the next menu, and we drinking wine and we're, eating good food, and we're just hanging out and talking about the menu and what we're going to do. And then everyone leaves and it's just, and Ramon and I, and we just start fucking talking, man, about like literally everything, like all the way down to the core of who you are as a person. Like when you're that comfortable talking about how you feel, about certain things. And there was a point, I don't know what it was, but we all looked and it was 4:35 in the morning and we were all like, holy shit, you know, like I'm instantly texting my wife, like, I swear I am not like doing
On
some
cocaine.
fucked up shit. Like, we're just talking, like, I take a selfie right there. I'm like, look at timestamped, you know, like I'm right here with the guys, you
Yeah,
know.
dude.
Yeah.
But that
That's
kind of
what-
shit is what I live for, dude. Like, that is the
Oh, yeah.
coolest shit in the world, and we don't do that, you know. Like, we're so concentrated on instant gratification. I mean, that came up I don't know how many times in this podcast,
I
but for
know.
sure from either of you is just that's a problem, you know, like detach, get real, like, you know, be who you are as a person, be comfortable with it, and let's all just enjoy each other rather than fucking not enjoy each other. It's just such an easy way to be like, I'd
Dude.
rather just have a good time and fucking hang out. And you guys have been awesome, so thank you.
Fuck
Dude,
yeah, man.
thank you. You're just as awesome, dude. And this one flew by, dude.
I know. I looked at that. I was like 3:20 or 3 hours 20 minutes. Holy shit,
dude. I will tell you, I'm sitting on a box of wine and my ass fucking hurts, man. Like,
but no, I'm serious about the 40th birthday thing. I've already texted a group of people. If you can make that
July
happen,
27th,
that'd be awesome.
right?
Yeah. If you can make that happen,
Okay.
that'd be awesome. I know that
Yep.
you know you guys. You're
What day of the week is your birthday? Joe?
Saturday.
Oh, dude. All right.
It's done.
It's done.
Fuck
dude.
yeah. All right, cool. I'm down.
It's gonna be hot as fuck in Sacramento at that time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, during a cooler time, we got to get you guys up with your families and camp on my property. Like, we have 7 acres up on top of the hill, and
we're
just
in Rockland, dude. We're 20 minutes away from Auburn, basically.
He's
dude.
moving to Rockland. He's in Pacifica right now, but he's
You're moving to Rockland,
bro. We're gonna be homies, dude. We're gonna be serious homies, dude. We're gonna be
You're moving into
homies,
the yuppie
dude.
capital of Northern California, though,
That's
man.
right,
Like,
bro.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
That's right, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's right. But I'll be right up there with you, dude.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm serious, dude. To sit around that campfire at night with the view that we have and, you know, roast marshmallows with the family, like, I don't know, man. It's pretty special shit out there. Like, it makes you real fucking humble and real appreciative of, like, what you have in life. And it's there to share, man. So we can't wait to see you guys up there.
It's very enticing, dude. Real quick, what's the age range of your kids? You said you had 22, but what were the younger ones?
Almost 22. So on August 27th, I turn 42. She turns 22. The boys, Weston and Walker, 9 and 10, respectively. And then Willow is just over 20 months now.
Damn. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Willow, I remember I'm congratulating you with Willow, and that's 20 months ago. Damn. So,
man,
12, 8, and 6. So we got, dude, they'll all
oh yeah, that's
totally chill, dude.
Everyone's into just fucking hanging out and being cool. Like, my kids aren't old enough to be turned off by young kids, and they're also not too young to be like turned off by older kids. So
the boys will be into my 8-year-old because all he eats is fucking dino nuggets and fucking cheeseburgers and shit like that.
What's wrong with you, dude? What kind of terrible parent are you, man? Like,
It's the way that he turned, he's all like the second you said down, I guess. Well, fuck yeah, Chris, dude. This is fucking awesome, dude. Now, I was like, as we talked when I was leaving your restaurant, I was like, dude, got to get you on, man. And Anthony went ahead and made it happen. I'm like, fuck yeah. I was like, sometimes there's some weeks where I'm just like, who's that? All right,
Chris has been,
And I was like, Chris is here? Fuck yeah. I was so excited when I saw you.
To do an OG Cali Death alum episode, plus hearing his unique story, being just a looker in on from the outside the box, watching Chris do his thing for the last decade plus, and always just rooting for him, and I just love everything that's happened in your journey, dude. Dude, I almost got through it without getting an Anthony drunk alert again. But yeah, dude, Chris, dude, thank you so much, dude. I love you, dude. I love Joel. I love everybody who is here with us tonight. I love everybody who's going to listen to this afterwards. Chris, we'll keep in touch, dude. Like I said, we'll be neighbors basically. So we're gonna be.
I'm gonna show you some of the best pizza you've ever had, some of the best Thai food you've ever had,
dude. I would just be my shepherd through.
We're so ready,
stuff, dude.
No, we're gonna crush you, man. Like, food is like, as much as I want to cook for you, I also want to show you all the food that I love. That's around, and that's like That's
Dude,
where
I
you
don't-
keep your ego. You know, you're like, yeah, I'm super excited for you to come eat my food, but I'm also just as excited for you to eat Pizzeria Luba, to eat Auburn Thai Garden, to eat Royal Indian, to eat like Red's Pizzeria, to eat Chef's Table, like all the stuff around your area and in my area is.
It
he knows
doesn't
all the
bother me
spots.
to. It doesn't bother me to hold a man's hand, dude. So just hold my hand and take me through it, dude.
Dude, I will pull out my pocket and let you hold it like a prison bitch. You know, like we'll fucking get into it.
Hold my pocket.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys.
Sweet dudes, I appreciate you both, man.
Fuck yeah,
Yes,
buddy.
no doubt,
Good
dude.
shit,
We
dude.
didn't really do the full on. We didn't do any plugs, dude.
Battlefield
No,
Coffee,
there's no
Coffee,
plugs needed.
But yeah, there's no plugs here.
All
Battlefield
right.
Coffee, we love you.
Guys.
Yeah, I see it scrolling across the bottom.
That's all we
LocaleSacramento.com.
need, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I paid you guys all that money, man, for that sweet
Thank
publicity,
you,
dude.
Yeah, so
Sweet
sexy.
plug, dude. All right, guys.
Have a good night,
great
you guys.
weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, no
Fuck
doubt,
yeah.
dude. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.